15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Snap to Prescott, back, steps up in the pocket, deep to the middle, caught by Pickens, and he circles left and runs away 20, 15, 10, touch right, touchdown. The Raiders just quit running after him, and Pickens made an incredibly surgical cut.
Thank you to Cowboys Radio. Yes, the defense quitting was a theme last night, but the Cowboys laid it on. 33-16 is the final score, Pearl, and it could have been much higher. They started taking a knee on the plus side of the 2-minute warning at the end of the game. Brian Schottenheimer, so much respect for Pete Carroll. They coached together. Schottenheimer was his offensive coordinator for many years in Seattle. And so this could have been even worse or whatever, even bigger margin. And, I don't find myself generally, rooting for the Dallas Cowboys, but I'm sure yesterday was cathartic for them. The first time they're on the field since the tragic death of Marshawn Nealon, and they get to go out and put a butt whooping on the Raiders.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they did try and drive down and score a touchdown with 4 minutes left, and CeeDee Lamb dropped the ball at the 2-yard line. So I don't know about the being nice thing. But if you knew nothing about the rest of the Cowboys season and you flew in and saw this game, you would think Jerry Jones is the greatest GM in the history of the world. Quentin Williams was unstoppable. George Pickens looked like Randy Moss combined with Jerry Rice.
Pearl, I told you it's about next year, but Pickens, 9 catches, 144 yards and such.
But Jerry didn't start the year being like, well, I'm all in for 2027. 2026.
Yeah.
No, he thought it was going to be this year. So all his moves worked out great last night. I'm just saying it's probably too late this year. Is George Pickens for next year? Would you have intel? I don't, because as far as I can tell, they have not signed that man.
No, but I think they're going to. And I don't know if they're going to drag it out like they usually do, but maybe this one will get done kind of lickety-split. But
I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure that their agent is talking. If Jerry can figure out the name of the agent.
But let's not forget, because it's the Cowboys, even the good nights and everything good, obviously with heavy hearts, of course, but all the positivity on the football field, you still had one headline, one little piece of drama, which is George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb getting benched for that opening drive. We still don't know why. It was a team disciplinary thing. Doesn't look like conduct detrimental. If I was just going to throw some wild guesses out there, I don't know. Maybe you miss a meeting when you're in Las Vegas. I don't know. Maybe that happens. Maybe not, but I'm just recklessly speculating here. But listen, I mean, yes, it looked last night like Jerry Jones, the GM, had his fastball back because Pickens was awesome. And Quentin Williams paired with Kenny Clark, by the way, who was one of the pieces in the return for Micah Parsons. They looked amazing. Now, the Raiders were very willing participants in this because, of course, it looks great on defense when you don't even try to run the ball. They didn't even attempt really to run the ball until the game was almost out of hand. The Raiders are so funny to me because clearly they're going to have major changes. They completely whiffed on what this season was going to be. They were in a go-for-it season. They're a 2-win team, and they might not win 2 more games the rest of the way. People got to go. Like, it's so bad. And Tom Brady can yuck it up with Jim Gray all he wants. Like, unless Tom Brady puts a uniform on, there's clearly not a way that he's impacting this team in a positive way either. So you want to go with the Cowboys side of it. I think this does bode well for next year. Pearl, they are building a little something. Brian Schottenheimer's not a disaster as a head coach. Quentin Williams is a good player who helps the rest of the D-line. They've got maybe the 2 best receivers in the league as far as a tandem. Now, you want to put Jefferson and Addison, but as long as J.J. McCarthy's thrown to him in Minnesota, those guys are going to be stuck in purgatory.
Well, I mean, they have to sign George Pickens. He's a straight free agent, and they're probably going to have to pay Quentin Williams some more, too. So they're going to run into the normal Cowboys offseason drama. I would get too excited. I mean, the Raiders' philosophy right now, where they are as a team, is very simple. we are going to flood the field with tight ends, and if you can match our tight ends, you're going to beat us. And it turns out the rest of the NFL is not terrified of a team with 3 good tight ends and nothing else. I mean, their receiving core is terrible. They chose not to run, and they drafted a running back at number 6 overall, Maggie.
Well, they traded away their best receiver, and Jacoby Myers, who was their best
Well,
receiver,
by
which
the
is
way,
saying
who's
something.
also not even right. I'm just saying, like all they have is a bunch of tight ends, and poor Gino, has no chance there. So the whole thing is a mess. But the funny thing is, Chip Kelly would drive me crazy, the offensive coordinator of the Raiders last year at Ohio State, for running the ball too much, like the Michigan loss. And now all he does is pass the ball. So I don't even know what Chip Kelly's doing. He makes zero sense as an NFL coordinator in the year 2025.
Okay.
They wrote me off. I ain't right back, though.
It's funny. There were times last year when I thought you and EJ were going to get into a car and drive to Columbus just to bang on Chip Kelly's door and go, what the hell, man?
That was the worst.
Let's hear from Pete Carroll last night, the Raiders head coach, Manny Haircut 8, getting a bit defensive with the media when he was asked about why so many dropbacks and not any runs. Why not even test this Dallas defense, who has been the bottom of the league against the run?
It was 31 dropbacks in that first half, 3 runs. Is that, I mean, I can't imagine that that's something that you like to look at.
Yeah, it wasn't 31 dropbacks. It was a bunch of play action passes, and really, I really wanted to see us do that. And you know, there's only one person to look at, it's me, because I was influenced on the game plan. I loved the way we were chunking them, and we made big plays. But I knew what was happening, you know, and Chip and I knew what was going on, but we were trying to stay with it and to see if we could continue to get the big plays, which we were getting.
Yeah, you know, like when someone's lying and they start talking really fast, like, I swear it wasn't me. I didn't do it. Look at that. I made it. It kind of felt like a little bit of an interrogation when it was a very simple question, just really with facts and breakdown there.
I saw an interview with Mike McDaniel at halftime of the Commanders Dolphins this week. It was funny. I noted this interview. He said, I want to run a lot of play action, the Dolphins coach. I want to run a lot of play action, but you can only run play action when you run the ball effectively. And then he said, so we're going to try and run the ball effectively. He came out in the half and then proceeded to throw the ball 6 straight times because he was lying in his halftime report thinking the Commanders were listening or something. Anyway, you can't do play action if there's no run game.
Yeah.
So what is Pete Carroll talking about? Well, the Cowboys weren't afraid of the play action. There was no reason to be afraid of the play action.
It didn't work.
31 dropbacks. It was a bunch of play action passes, and really, I really wanted to see us do that.
Yeah, but you have to run the ball to fool the defense with the play action. I mean, you don't need to be Bill Walsh to figure that out. Old reference there. What's a modern Bill Walsh? You don't need to be Kyle Shanahan to figure out. You need to run the ball to do play action.
Listen, I mean, the whole Genty pick looks like it was a complete just miscalculation. And now you actually do. Here's just an underscore of how bad things have been as far as talent evaluation with the Raiders. And I understand that they have a new general manager now. And I understand that, maybe scouting departments change. But since they moved to Las Vegas, Pearl, in 2020, they've selected 48 players in the draft. And one of them has earned a Pro Bowl honor.
Who's that?
Brock Bowers.
Oh, yeah.
One. And he was drafted last year. One. Last year? 2 years ago? Last year. There's no talent on the roster besides Max Crosby and Brock Bowers and maybe Genty, but we're not even sure yet. Because if you have an offensive line that's banged up and weird and, they're elevating guys from the practice squad before the game, they're not doing anything. And people got to go in Vegas. I don't know who is it. John Spytek, the general manager, and Pete Carroll together, and Chip Kelly, and Gino moves to a emeritus sort of mentor role for whoever they draft.
Well, you can't put Spytek in there. He just got there. Did he even do last year's draft? Maybe he did, but I'm not sure
Yes,
that was totally Pete Carroll's call.
To take a running back?
Yeah, Pete Carroll did that in Seattle a bunch of times. Remember, he took Rashad Penny in the first round. So that was pure Pete Carroll. I don't want to make people in Vegas sick right now, but you realize that they took Genty at 6 and Tedero McMillan went 8. He's a stud. And Emeka Egbuka went 19. Can you imagine him in the black and silver? That would be amazing.
Okay, so Raider fans, you're welcome to weigh in here. Who's got to go? 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. And I think this one's going to be an opening. Pete Carroll, I think, is probably going to go. But can I flip back over to the Cowboys for just a second? I was thinking about this last night. And, obviously in the wake of this tragedy with Marshawn Nealon, I don't want to overstate things. But just on the field, this has got to be the best you've felt in a while, no? Like, the moves are working. It's working out. You know, Jerry did take some swings. Like, we make fun of him when his stuff fails. We made fun of him when he traded for Micah Parsons. But if you're a Cowboy fan, is this the first time in a long time where you thought, all right, maybe there is an adult in charge. Maybe we do have a plan. Maybe there is a vision. I mean, the defense has been so bad through the season, Pearl. Your guy Overshawn back last night, still working his way back a little bit from that knee injury. But he'll get back there.
He went to the sideline. I thought he was hurt again. It turned out his brace was falling off. But
this is not a bad vision here. It's not.
First of all, Maggie, they're 4-5-1. And they are I tell you right now.
Not about this year. Not about this year. I'm talking about building for the future.
Nobody in the NFL is looking at next year. They're going to be frustratingly close to playoffs because I think they're going to give Philly a very, very hard time next week. They're 3.5-point dogs. I would take the Cowboys. I mean, what are you seeing in Philly? Maybe it's a short week and Dallas is not right, but Dak owns the Eagles. Like he's going to tear them apart. I know the defense has been great in Philadelphia. I don't think Dak is scared of them at all. Do you remember before the rain delay, week 1?
Yeah.
I know Jalen Carter was out, but Dak completed pretty much every pass against Philly. Now, the problem is for Dallas.
Philly's defense has changed a lot since that week.
I know, but generally, Dak has never had any problems with that defense. So they got Philly. Problem is Kansas City and Detroit after that, and then they got the Chargers later in the season. There are a lot of tough matchups. I think
they're not going to be favored in any of these games. They'll be favored against Washington and maybe, I don't even know if that's true, maybe Manny's Giants, maybe.
Wait, they'll be favored by, you don't think they'll be favored against the Giants? They'll be favored by 8 points against the Giants.
Okay, the Giants, fine. That's the last game of the season. They'll be favored by 10
against the Commanders are done.
Well, I don't know. If Jaden Daniels comes back, maybe not.
They'll be favored. I think they'll be favored against the Chargers for
Manny's
sure.
Cowboys. Yeah,
no, but they should be favored at home against Minnesota and Los Angeles. They'll be favored in the last 4 games. But anyway, they're going to get frustratingly close to the playoffs, and they're going to – I think it's going to be disappointing. You think that fans are rational enough to say next year is going to look great when this year it's going to be so close, you have so much talent on the field? I think that would be a very frustrating situation you're describing.
I don't know because, again, you want the arrow pointing up while you still have Dak Prescott under this contract and still looking like he's in his prime, you know? And so, you know, for next year – like, why not, right? You're going to run it back with CeeDee Lamb with George Pickens. You got to sign Pickens now. And now you've got Quinnen Williams, and now you've got more of your defensive line. Maybe they keep Kenny Clark. I wasn't sure if they were going to. You got some more, you know, draft capital. I think it's okay. I think the Dallas Cowboy fan finally, for the first time, probably feels like there's, you know, the anvil's getting lifted off their back. Like, wow, maybe we actually have something here.
How are you paying George Pickens $35 million, CeeDee Lamb $35 million, Dak Prescott $60 million, and then probably have to repay Quinnen Williams? I'm just curious where you got this money.
Your Eagles figured out how to pay 2 wide receivers and a quarterback and good defensive players. You just kick the can down the road. That's what going for it is all about. God. For next year.
Oh, my God.
And by the way,
have you never watched a Cowboys offseason? Do you know how this works, how this story goes?
Yeah, but see, here's the thing about Quinnen Williams. You don't have to rip up his contract. I don't think you have to do that. Maybe you have to add a little more guaranteed money to keep him happy, but that's not a full, we've got to do this dance where he's away from the organization. I don't think it's going to get anywhere close to that dramatic.
I think the Pickens thing is going to be tough. I think he will resign, but I think it's going to really put the team in a team-building spot that's hard. Because that's a lot of money on your 2 wide receivers and your quarterback. And I think you have to pay a lot. They're already paying the defensive line a lot, which isn't even good, ironically. And they're going to have to pay the offensive line. I don't know. There's one of the Tylers, I think, is due. It's going to be a crazy offseason.
I think this is the best a Cowboy fans felt in a while. Again, on the field, we obviously understand there's serious things going on off the field. I don't want to confuse the two. But I'm just saying, this was a new-look defense last night. And yes, the Raiders did their part. They were happy, it looked like, to play the role of the Washington Generals last night and lay down for the Cowboys. And to the Raider fans, you're welcome to weigh in, of course, at 888-710-4ISN. We're asking who has to go of the poo-poo platter of John Spytek, Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Geno Smith. Is there someone else I should put in there? I think I got everybody.
Give it to Mark Davis, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you on everybody. No way. Spytek's totally fine. Well, he's done nothing on this team building yet.
All right, maybe you just wish you could get rid of him.
Why would you want to get rid of John Spytek? I think What do you know
I mean,
about
if
this man?
you think he had more input on how they put the roster together, then he's the one to blame. If you think it's all Pete Carroll, which I know you do, then that's different. But who's really running the show in Vegas?
Who's the quarterback of the Vegas Raiders?
I mean, Gino.
Yeah, where do you think he came from?
No, we know.
It's just a Pete Carroll's team.
That's fine. But then Pete's got to go.
Well, of course.
Or Jim Gray's got to go, who Amy Trask has told us has an
But at the same
inordinate
time,
amount
who
of.
hired Pete Carroll, though? Because that's I don't know if I want to just throw Spytek completely out from under the bus, because at the end of the day, the ownership group and John Spytek and I guess Tom Brady, they decided that Pete Carroll was the guy. So if you're bringing in Pete Carroll and he says, bring me in and then we'll bring in Geno Smith and we'll win next year, well, that was a terrible miscalculation.
Yeah,
John
everyone
Spytek
was in on the plan.
It definitely owns some of this.
Yeah, I mean, but it'd be a one-and-done GM. I get one-and-done coaches, and even that's ridiculous. But
I think the Raiders did that with Tom Telesco, did they not?
Yeah, but they didn't. I
don't know if he was
but
one
they were
and done,
moving
but he
around
was-
a lot of things. I feel like that. I don't think Spytek is gone. Spytek's also younger. I mean, obviously Pete Carroll's age plays into this. Like, you thought you brought him in as a win right now coach, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, I thought he'd be like stabilizing force or raise the floor. But it's been all bad for the Raiders. All bad. But whatever Jim Gray was saying to Tom Brady last night was very funny.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were
I mean,
yucking it up. Oof.
that's the other thing, too. What can Brady do as a 5% minority owner? Does he actually get more involved? Because I don't think he was super involved in the draft last year.
No, he's involved, Pearl. I know.
No,
you don't
I mean,
wanna
like rounds
believe it.
1 through 7. I don't think.
Well, 1
yeah,
through
I think
7.
he was involved in the big moves. Like, is he going to spend even more time and really get into the weeds here? Do you think he was involved in every pick and every personnel move? I think he just did the big things last year. That's my sense.
Well, the big things didn't work. If the big thing was drafting Ashton Genty, signing Geno, it didn't work. So I don't know. I mean, I wanted to give Tom Brady some credit here, but, I don't know about Tom Brady. I'm not sure about this guy.
You were pretty sure last year.
I was, but now I've seen how he's acted the last year. I don't know if he's a great businessman. I mean, he's a spokesperson for every single thing under the sun. He cloned his dog, for goodness sake, to talk about a biotech company.
They cloned his dog because he loved his dog.
You don't even get the actual dog. You just get this weird facsimile of the dog.
I am aware how cloning works. I didn't think the actual dog survived on it. I mean, that'd be cool if you could do that.
Weird. Just weird. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So on the Cowboys side of it, again, football only. What you saw on the field last night, does this give you hope? And maybe Jerry was right. Guys, it's not a crime to say Jerry Jones made a couple good moves and he could be right. I think he did a great job. 888-710-4ISN. Bringing Quinn Williams looks like a slam dunk.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see
That's a
against
first-round
Eagles.
pick, and that's, by the way, a sick draft in 27. Hopefully the Cowboys will be good that year.
All in.
And then for the Raiders, who's got to go? 888-710-4ISN. Is it the GM? Is it the coach? Is it the quarterback? Is it who else do I have? Offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Chip Kelly.
I mentioned quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting conversation too, because this is not a great quarterback class. They'll probably take somebody, and then they'll be stuck with a guy that they're not totally convinced.
Want to hear something crazy? Yeah. For as bad as the Raiders look last night, and it was as bad as it can be, they're still just picking 6th. There's so many teams in front of them. Tennessee, the Giants, Cleveland, New Orleans, the Jets. They got to do some serious losing here if they want to get to a top 3 pick.
Well, yeah, a lot of those teams don't need quarterbacks, though, because the Giants have Jackson Dart.
Tennessee.
Also, I'm telling you, if you look at this quarterback
Shedeur.
class, number 6 is fine to get a quarterback because they're all totally average anyway.
So that's not great. I mean, maybe it's a Mac Jones situation. Do they do this again with another retread and get into that market like they just did with Geno? They just traded a 3rd-round pick for Geno last year. Do they try to go back into it with a more experienced person? I don't know.
A bridge quarterback.
Sure.
Yeah, that'd be kind of disappointing too. This is a tough spot for Raiders.
Horrible.
They've been in a tough spot for 25 years,
Yeah,
Perloff.
that's true.
Well, listen.
And of course, Mark Davis, they always catch him doing things you just never see any other owner doing.
He's the Michael Scott of the NFL. He's always looking awkward and weird.
It's like, have you ever thought in your mind to see like a Rooney, a Mara, even Jerry? Well, I don't want to say Jerry, but any of these old guard, owners, Pearl, the camera catches them just talking with like beautiful women. And one I know was it the drummer, not Sheila E. Who was it last night? And then there's these other 2 gorgeous women. Like,
it
it's
was like
always
Carlos Santana's wife or
yes,
something? Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a weird moment when Joe Buck knew all these real estate power players in the box. I'm like, who is Joe Buck hanging out with?
Oh,
He's
you
like,
don't know Mike Meldman? Pearl, get a pick
there
of
was
a
another
magazine.
guy named Arvid something. Like he's like, oh, this guy owns something. I'm like, well, who is Joe Buck hanging out with? And he goes, that is a powerful box. I'm like, wow, powerful. It seems like the axes of evil, like old school Raiders. Like, I don't know what that box was funny looking. Is anybody with me?
The axis of evil. I only know one of the guys. He owns a tequila company. You may have heard of him.
Had you heard of that landscape realty guy?
No. I've heard of the guy who's a part owner of Casamigos.
This owner's box look like, remember you guys watch Super Friends and all the Legion of Doom sitting on the table in the swamp? This is what this looks like.
Someone's like petting a cat.
Yeah. Looking for Joker and Lex Luthor. And where's Black Manta?
888-710-4ISN. I'm not killing the tequila guy. I like him. Thank you for the Casamigos.
You're welcome for tequila.
Thank you, Manny. 888-710-4476. Okay. Cowboys side of this, is this the most hope you've had as far as on the field in a while? Raiders side of this, who's got to go? 888-710-4ISN. Sit tight.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
She's probably in Texas, Amarillo. All I know, George Strait, yeah, that's where all them.
All right, welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. Quinn Williams and George Pickens put on a show last night. Quinn Williams, newest Cowboy, they traded a lot for him from the Jets. 1.5 sacks last night, 7 total pressures, and according to Pro Football Focus, 21.4 pass rush win rate, which is huge for a tackle. So Jerry Jones is a genius GM. That's where we are today. They are still going to have an uphill battle because they're scheduled to make the playoffs. But I'll tell you, I think this year is in because I think they could easily beat the Eagles at home. The Eagles have not looked great, in my opinion. I'm an Eagles fan. So if they get to 500, 500 late in the season and anything is on the table, and then they play the Chiefs. What are we impressed with the Chiefs? So
but let's pump the brakes a little bit. I think that you can see the vision for the Cowboys for next year. But as far as like the step up in weight class between the Raiders and the Eagles is going to be gigantic because look at what we just saw the Eagles do to an offense that has 2 great receivers and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jamison Williams.
Jared Goff outside? Come on.
Well, whatever. I mean, There's
no whatever. It was a windy day with Jared Goff in a windy day at night. There's no chance. Dak indoors in Texas is a different animal altogether.
I'm trying to just give some realistic hope for the Cowboys. This is probably as good as you felt about things on the field in quite a long time. Tyrone's in Dallas. Tyrone, what do you got, sir?
I am all in on this crap being crap. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm serious. I'm serious. Cowboy fans, do we realize who we played? We played the Raiders. The Raiders. Did you see that defense had no corners to stick with our receivers? You know what I'm saying? They had no receivers to threaten our corners. You're right. The draft was for next year. It's not for this year. They're not beating Detroit. They're not beating Philly.
No.
They're not beating Kansas City.
No.
It's not happening this year. I need our fans to understand that it's not happening this year.
Okay, but Tyrone,
this crap is crap.
The crap might be crap, but does it give you a little more hope for next season? This season is not happening. I'll agree with you there.
It gives me a little hope for next season. I want to see they're going to really have to build this defense in the draft because I'm sorry. This defense, I still don't believe in this defense all the way because, again, they don't have any receivers to threaten these corners. That's been I've called y'all. That's been our problem all season long. Our corners and our safeties are absolute garbage. So let's see when a team has receivers to threaten these DBs if we're really that good. I think we're good up front. I think our linebacker core still probably needs a little help. But, again, I'm just waiting to see a team that can actually put pressure on this defense.
Listen, Tyrone, I get it. You're a long-suffering Cowboy fan. You don't want to just buy in at any sign of, a nice win is not going to reel you back in here. But, there's something here. You can at least see the bones of it.
Well, sorry, you have the highest paid cornerback room in the history of the NFL, so that's something.
Eric's in Indiana, wants to talk about this from the Raiders side of things. Eric, who's got to go from the Raiders after what we've seen this season?
Man, that's a tough question with the who's got to go. It's been a rough year. We've had injuries with Brock Bowers early this year, and that was where we game planned everything around. And we've lost a game. You know, we missed a PAT against Jacksonville. That's a playoff team. Should have won. We got a blocked field goal against Chicago. That's a win. We last week we missed a field goal in Denver down by 3. We've been close to some playoff teams, but we are far, far off. I think Chip Kelly, I don't like what he's done. He's made no adjustments. Last night's running game was probably the worst thing I've ever seen. Gino, we tried to plug him in, you know, and we tried to pick up where him and Carroll left off, and it's been ugly. I mean, he's had more interceptions and touchdowns. It's really a sad day as a Raider right now, but I feel bad for Max Crosby, honestly.
Yeah, but you know what, Eric? We all do, and Crosby had that good fumble on Dak Prescott in the second drive. Thank you for the phone call. You know, I said this the day after the trade deadline. Raiders did a bad job by not trading Max Crosby, and now they're probably going to trade him after the season. He's got 4 years left on his deal, Pearl, but only $30 million guaranteed left is what I read yesterday out of Las Vegas. That's extremely tradable. And there's going to be suitors lining up. Look at what defensive players went for just at the deadline.
But they've had 3 or 4 opportunities to trade Max Crosby, and he said he wants to stay. Why would this offseason be different?
Well, because you are so much further away than you ever thought you were. They thought they were going to win now with the moves they made this offseason, and they just miscalculated. If you're still miscalculating after a 2-win season potentially, then even the dumbest front office could see the writing on the wall there.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Do you think you get 2 first rounds for Max Crosby? Because I'm not so sure.
Maybe not 2, but I'm definitely getting a first and a second.
Yeah, I don't know if Max Crosby's guaranteed to go away. I mean, he's the one positive force for this franchise. It feels like if Max Crosby goes away, then you have Brock Bowers, but generally it's a little different. I mean, because he's such a cool person.
Pearl, positive force. What? With all due respect, what are you talking about?
I mean, Max Crosby's the man.
They've won 2 games. There's nothing positive about anything going on with the Raiders.
Well, it's just it's the one elite person that has been associated with that franchise for the last 5 years. There's nothing else.
And right now, trading him might be the one thing that saves him, because even if they do actually eventually turn this around, he's going to be in a rocking chair. Let's get to Bogish, who's got the latest headlines. 888-710-4ISN. Keep them coming on both the Cowboys and the Raiders.
Oh, look who's here. Oh, hey, Manny. Good morning, everybody. Your headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks, the hard-hitting football action, even better with Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks and use code PRIMETIME and get $50 bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. It is a $40 million gift for Penn State. It was safe to assume that James Franklin would work again soon. Not sure we had Virginia Tech and before Thanksgiving on the bingo card. The Hokies got their guy last night with a deal that reportedly drops his buyout from Penn State from $49 to just $9 million. Very nice.
Do we know what's left on Pete Carroll's contract? His Raiders 2-8 after last night's beating from the Cowboys at home in primetime. The aforementioned Max Crosby still searching for wins.
You know, it's not pointing a finger at anyone. I point at myself first, you know what I mean? I look at myself to find ways to improve every day, and it's got to be everybody in the building. And, you know, we got to find solutions. That's it.
That's not true. He can't possibly look around him and be like, you know what? It starts with me. I'm the problem. It's like, you're not, dude. You're the only good thing about anything around here.
But him and Bowers.
And Bowers.
It's a 1-2 combo.
Although even with Max on the field last night, the Vegas D allowed 3 Dak Prescott touchdown passes in the second quarter, 4 total in this 33-16 final. Is that bad? It was an emotional post-game locker room for Dallas head coach Brian Schottenheimer.
We started talking about Marshawn and how proud he would be, and with the way we played the game, and then I tried to compose myself, which I did. And we did our normal celebration because that's what we do.
This was the Cowboys' first game, of course, since losing Marshawn Nealon, the head coach. Many others wore T-shirts with his face and name on it on the sidelines. Bengals wideout Jamar Chase gets a 1-game suspension for spitting at Jalen Ramsey Sunday, and the Falcons have placed Michael Penix on IR with Sunday's knee injury, but yet to confirm reports that he is done for the year. On the flip side,
he's back!
LeBron James may make his season debut tonight against the Jazz.
My lungs feel like a newborn baby. That's the most important thing. I got to get my lungs back up to a grown man, and my voice is already gone. One day back barking out calls and assignments and stuff, and getting my voice working again.
LeBron and his voice and his sciatica going through a 5-on-5 Laker practice yesterday for the first time since last postseason. Playing tonight depends on how he feels when he wakes up and then after morning shoot-arounds.
Did he ever play a game for the South Bay Lakers who was practicing with?
No, they don't.
No,
do
we
that.
would have seen that jersey.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
That's an epic jersey to get if he actually played for the South Bay Lakers. LeBron James.
They should have done it just for the merch.
He should have worn number 45 with it, too. That would have been great.
They have a cool jersey, right? It's like a sun or something.
I don't know.
actually know.
I think it's probably like a Summer League version of the Lakers jersey.
It's like a glorified penny.
Yeah.
You guys remember those?
Probably has like 4 logo sponsors.
Yeah, no, this logo, this jersey is kind of whack.
Now, do they actually do that? I know players go to the G League affiliate for practice when the big team is not around, but do guys actually play in like rehab games in that league?
I don't know if you can because you don't want some try hard for the other team
Right.
to take out LeBron James' knee and make a name for themselves.
No, I wouldn't put LeBron in a game, but is it even actually possible to do that?
I don't know with
You have
someone
to be
like
on a two-way
LeBron.
contract.
Because baseball sometimes you go, he's minor league
Minor league
rehab
assignment,
start.
yeah.
Can you even send him to a game for that?
No.
I don't know. I mean, the Knicks have always been very liberal with just sending guys down to the G League to play if they're not getting time. At least
Thank
they did
you
during
very much.
Thibodeau.
Right.
So I don't know but those guys were always like young players. They weren't even two-way guys. They could be your first-round pick.
Sure.
They just send them down there because, you're not playing, so go play in the G League for a week. I don't know if you could do that for like a 20-year vet, though. There might be things in their contract that don't
Folks, why
allow
don't you go
that.
comb through the CBA for the next hour
Stand
and
by.
let us know.
Is Bronny still going back and forth?
No, he's on the big club. I saw
Wait,
JJ Redick yelling at him the other day.
I saw that, too.
He doesn't do any more G League? They don't put him
I
back?
haven't seen him back down there, no.
Speaking of Bronny, here's an unconfirmed nugget that I saw on Twitter this morning. Somehow, Bronny has played in more fourth quarters this season than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander because OKC keeps winning so easily that he sits out the fourth. He didn't play it last night. 126-109 beating of the Pelicans. That game was 49-24 after the first quarter. SGA had 23 points and 9 assists in just 29 minutes.
Again, I said it yesterday. We could beat the Pelicans.
I also saw a note the Thunder, because the way the Clippers are playing, might have a top 3 pick in this year's ridiculously good draft. Is this the super dynasty that we're watching right now? I think nobody cares, by the way, but
Are they going to break the record?
I probably not in the days of load management. Won't they rest their guys?
Well, but they are getting rest. This reminds me of the Warriors, the 73 win year, which ironically they didn't win. But remember, Steph Curry didn't play any fourth quarters either.
Nope.
They didn't need to load manage him.
They probably should have, right? Because he was
He got hurt.
Got hurt in the playoffs.
But I mean, you can't argue if you're close to the record. Don't you have to go for it? How many 10-game winning streaks have they had? 2 already this year?
No, they're 14-1.
Okay,
right
sorry.
The one
Not
game
not
the
enough.
one game they lost by 2 points.
Right.
Ironically.
But the record, when the Warriors broke that record, because they didn't win the title, it didn't really do much. Like, nobody seemed to care. Because the NBA regular season
We cared at the time, though.
But not like you. But I don't think we cared a little bit. But because the regular season is so watered down, nobody cares about the NBA regular season. Clearly, the players don't, the teams don't,
Yeah, I'll
fans
agree
don't.
with you.
So I don't think, because the Warriors lost, so it's one of those things you have to finish the season to make the record pop.
Yeah, the Bulls
Good
don't
point.
win the championship in '96. It still is not as much of a big deal.
And also, are any cool basketball stats now getting erased, like baseball stats, football stat? Well,
Like you can't have multiple 20-win seasons from pitchers, probably
or
things
just
like that.
yeah, because sports has changed
Yeah.
and there's so much. You're right. The regular season does not matter in the NBA. They've made that abundantly clear on certain teams.
Yeah, I saw Jalen Duren last night set an all-time record for points and shooting percentage or something. Like, nobody's even really trying that hard.
Everyone's just like, check his DraftKings account.
Yeah. I don't know. It
Trying
just feels
too
like
hard
with
now.
load management. But
Props.
you are right, though. 14-1, Meg. I think this is the first I heard. Like, OKC, if they want to break that record, man, that should be easy for them. Because their backups are as good as most teams, aren't they?
AJ Mitchell, who I don't know where this guy came from, but he has been now a starter for them this year, and
Where
he
did
is
any
awesome.
Where did any of those guys come from, man?
I know, but I
They
mean,
have 2 Jalen Williamses.
Yeah.
And I didn't know about either one of them before the NBA.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know who they were during the pandemic.
Purdue returns to number 1 in the AP men's college basketball poll after a week sitting behind Houston. The Boilermakers won at number 8 Alabama last week, and Alex Ovechkin scoring career goal number 903 in the Capitals' 2-1 win over the Kings, who had won 4 straight. Back to you guys.
Folks, thanks so much. All right, Cowboys, Raiders, a game last night, super lopsided. Cowboys look great, but the Raiders did their part. It's a sorry state of affairs in Las Vegas. So we're asking you 2 questions. One, is this the first time you can see a glimmer of hope for the Cowboys? It looks like an outline of a plan, at least on defense. And then on the Raiders side, who's got to go? Cannot keep the GM, coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterback when you've got 2 wins on the season. 888-710-4ISN.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Baby, calm down, calm down. Yo, this your body, it puts in my heart for lockdown.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam, just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Back on Maggie and Perloff, breaking down the Cowboys' relatively easy win over the Raiders and what it means. I mean, it means to me a lot about both teams. One good, one bad.
You want to flesh it out?
I mean, it looks good for the Cowboys. I think they're going to be a factor this year. They're going to be a major, at least a spoiler this year. And the Raiders, obviously, I don't think you need much fleshing out. You just they stink.
Yeah, EJ, you want to throw the poll up? Who's got to go on the Raiders? And we have 4 possibilities for a poll question, like 4 answers. So I would do Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, Geno Smith, and John Spytek, the GM.
Well, I mean, you have to say who's got to go the most. I think Chip Kelly is number 1, and then Pete Carroll number 2, because they both have to go, right? I mean, there's no, you can't. Who are they bringing back out of those 2?
I mean, I guess I could squint and see Pete just because I know he's 74, but to say, all right, he needs at least another year to kind of build what he's building. But
yeah.
Chip Kelly, I mean, the funny part about Chip Kelly is think about all the college openings that we're going to have, all the NFL openings we're going to have, and he's not going to be a factor in any one of them. It was pretty shocking that isn't he the highest paid offensive coordinator in the NFL or close to it? I mean, good grief. JT's in Atlanta. JT, I disagree with Perloff. I don't think the Cowboys, anything's about this season, but I think next year you can see the bones of a good roster. What do you got?
I don't think Perloff believes what he's saying. I think he's just trolling Cowboys fans because I think no self-respecting Eagle fan is going to, ride that hard for the Cowboys. Just period.
But he loves Dak. I'll speak for you, Pro.
Well, I don't love Dak, but I think, but JT, you've seen Dak Prescott against the Eagles. Like, he's pretty good.
Yeah, but not against his defense. And you're comparing it. You're saying that the reason why they Goff struggled was because of the wind. I mean, the wind. Didn't have anything to do with the fact that he didn't have time to throw the ball. I mean, it was.
Oh,
the
yeah,
defense,
it did.
not the.
Their timing offense was totally disrupted. The Lions usually get the ball out immediately, and Jared Goff outdoors. Come on, that is no great shakes to beat him.
We might as well say that the wind was the reason why Hurts wasn't able to throw the ball too, right? Then come on, that's not the case. But we know that's not, and so we know what the Cowboys do. This is what they do all the time. They give their fans a little bit of hope. They make them think that there's something out there to look forward to, and then reality hits. And that's just the way it is. We're comparing what they did against the Raiders to what we think they're going to do versus the rest of the league. I mean, come on, that's like saying you beating your little brother in the backyard means you can play in the NBA.
No, JT, you're right. The Raiders had to play their part last night. They played the part of the team that rolled over. And thank you for the phone call. Totally. What I'm not saying for this year, the Cowboys, by some playoff projectors, have less than a 1% chance to make the playoffs. It's not about this year. Maybe probably you said they play spoiler. Possibly. I just think it's about building for something for next year. That's what the Quinnen Williams trade was about. Listen, if you think it was chasing the bad Micah Parsons trade, I'm not going to disagree with you. But you are trying to fix something. And last night, I don't even know why, but the Raiders didn't even test the Cowboys' run defense. Johnny's in Atlanta. Good morning, Johnny.
What's going on, Maggie and Perloff? Hey, I agree with you, Maggie, about it. They building something for next year. But the problem is, next year, I don't know if it's true, what's the name, but don't they have to pay George Pickens next year?
Yep.
Ain't on his final, what's the name? So he gonna want receiver 1 money, and he only a receiver 2. So either they gonna overpay for him, or they gonna have to do what they did with Michael Parsons, let him go, because he's not gonna play. He gonna do what Michael Parsons sit on the sideline and act a fool, because you can tell his ego is. So they building something, but they're gonna run into a problem when they try to pay the number 2 receiver. But the defense is gonna look good, but they still ain't gonna have a pass rush.
Yeah, but
and my thing with it,
yeah, Johnny. But here's the one thing about it, right? So they look like they have one of the best wide receiver tandems in the NFL right now, and you know, obviously, you trade for George Pickens, you realize the best case scenario and the worst case scenario. And this is turning out to be the best case scenario. And I'm not saying that I trust that Jerry's got this grand plan, but somehow Perloff's Eagles played A.J. Brown and played Devontae Smith, and they paid Jalen Hurts, and they paid all these other guys.
But you got to realize the Eagles don't got they have Ricky on defense. They don't have they traded for Quinn Williams. His contract is over $30-something million, I think. Then they paid Branch. They paid what's the name? So they got to cut some salary cap.
Yeah, Diggs.
And I want to talk about the Raiders real quick.
Sure.
If the Raiders let go of Pete Carroll, they turn into a renter coach. This is gonna be the second coach they gonna cut in 1 year. So they cannot let Pete Carroll go. So it's gonna be Chip Kelly, and it's gonna be Geno Smith. And if I'm a big Ashley Jenkins fan, they need to let him be to a place where he can actually be a running back and get him out of Oakland. So.
Well, Johnny, they're not going to trade him now. Thank you so much for the call. They blew the pick, but you can't trade him after the rookie season. Ashton Genty. That
nobody's going to want him anyway. I mean, you'd be
quite
expensive
selling
for a
low.
No, I don't think anyone. I mean, because he's the number 6 pick. I assume his contract is pretty significant for a running back because running backs don't get paid. I'm totally with the thing about George Pickens. It's going to be really hard to pay him. Some of these salaries are crazy. The average salaries. They're already paying Dak 60. CeeDee Lamb's getting 34. Pickens is going to want 40. And guess who Pickens' agent is? David Mulligetta.
Oh, we're back with the same guy who had Michael Parsons? Oh, lovely. Do you think
Quentin
Jerry
Williams
will learn
is
his
only
name?
24. He's going to want more. The thing is, they're paying Deron Bland 22.5, and they're paying Trayvon Diggs 20.
I don't know his name.
Kenny Clark gets 21. Oh man, this is going to be a fun free agency period. I cannot wait. So we have something to do this summer is to watch as the Cowboys turn. And Maggie, for you to say that it's not going to be like it always is, that is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results because. I'm sorry, the Cowboys always run into the same problem. I don't know why this offseason would be any different.
Yeah, they're going to have to get creative here, which is not their strong suit. They're going to have to get a little creative. They're probably going to have to say goodbye to Diggs. They're going to have to maybe attach draft picks to that. They're probably going to have to eat a whole bunch of dead cap money for that. Listen, they made a bet on George Pickens, and they're winning it. Like, this is ultimately should be considered a good thing, right?
Well,
you bought low on a guy, and he had 144 yards on 9 catches last night and a touchdown. He looked amazing.
Right.
And he's been good all year.
Why was he available?
Well, because he's a head case.
No, BC's going to be a free agent. So that is the issue. He's sort of a one-year rental. If you don't make the playoffs this year and they don't re-sign him, was it worth it? I guess they'll get a comp pick, so it won't be the death of them. But still, I think you have a problem here. You got to I think they can make a run this year. You saw they have a lot of talent. I don't think Philly and Kansas City, the 2 teams on their schedule, are so daunting. I mean, what is KC's offense? It kind of looks bad too. I'm just saying they're going to get annoyingly close to the playoffs this year. They'll probably just miss, and Cowboys fans are going to be once again entering the offseason with question marks. And I think you're way over optimistic about Jerry managing all the cap this offseason.
Well, maybe so. I think that it actually would be more of a positive runway for the Cowboys to be in the hunt and miss the playoffs and not suffer some ridiculous, terrible playoff loss than to just slightly then miss the playoffs, be in the hunt, and then the fan base can see something to build on.
Okay.
You know, what are you going to go to the playoffs and sneak in and get whooped by the Rams? Like, that's not going to be fun.
Well, if they were the 7 seed...
They're not getting in, Pearl.
I don't know.
They're not getting in. But this is about next year.
But I see. So you're saying not making the playoffs is better than making the playoffs?
No, being on an upward trajectory. That's
so you'd rather be out and on upward and hope. But still, it's a lot of optimism that they will do things the right way this offseason.
888-710-4ISN. Listen, it's the best it's looked in a while for the Cowboys on the field. And then for the Raiders, who's got to go? You cannot bring back the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, the GM. It's a 2-win team. They stink. Coming up next, we got our first college football hiring.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
2nd and 10. Prescott fakes a toss right. He's got Lamb wide open on the right side of the end zone. And the second in Raiders. Touchdown, CeeDee Lamb.
Cowboys radio is a lot of Lamb and a lot of Pickens last night. CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. George Pickens, 9 catches, 144 yards, and a touchdown. The two were benched for the first series of this game, but obviously Pearl came back with the gangbusters, and they were awesome. Final score was 33-16. Felt like the Cowboys could have named the number at one point. There was never a point outside of the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the game where the Raiders even looked engaged.
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about George Pickens after the catch? He was amazing. He had no fear that the Raiders were going to tackle him at any point. He alone could have named the score. I felt like Pickens could have had 300 yards if he wanted.
Yeah, it was a lot of arm tackles. It was a lot of the defense outside of Max Crosby kind of looked like they really didn't want to be in this game. And, you know, from the Cowboys side of it, Quinnen Williams had a great game. He's obviously the addition they made at the trade deadline. George Pickens, as we were just outlining, had a phenomenal game. So it looked like some of the personnel moves that Jerry and co. have made recently look pretty good. Obviously, I don't think they're going to get over the Micah Parsons trade. I still will stand by that was a terrible trade. But if you're trying to fix it and you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, then it looks like at least you get the outline of a plan. Now, the Raiders were willing and complicit in this plan because they didn't try to run the ball. We don't know if the run defense is fixed because Ashton Genty was a non-factor last night.
Oh, it's funny. I don't remember you saying it was a terrible, terrible trade. The logic of the Micah Parsons trade made some sense.
No, I didn't like it.
$47 million? That's radical.
Whatever. Like
I mean, you look at the Packers.
I know, and look at how he's sealing games for them. And the Packers' offense is the problem, not the defense.
I don't know. They did not seem to get their pass rush going against the Giants. The Packers are definitely not reaping the rewards of having Micah Parsons there. I'd say they're a bit of a disappointment so far. And he's good, but still, $47 million when Myles Garrett is the best player on planet Earth, is $7 million less than him, and they got 2 first-round picks. I think Jerry was not, at least there's a plan there. I think a lot of teams would not pay that for Micah Parsons.
Okay, but think about, the Packers now, not to make this a Packers thing, but with Micah Parsons, they're not, I think they've kind of waned a little as like a Super Bowl, people thinking that they're a Super Bowl favorite or a true contender. Still got a lot of season to go, but they've lost 2 out of the last 3 games. The final score against Carolina, 16-13, and against your Eagles, 10-7. What's the problem with the defense? The offense can't score. That's the problem.
I read recently that early in the season, he was clearing up the other pass rushers, but now the other pass rushers have completely disappeared. They're not creating quite the havoc. I mean, the Eagles put that game on slow mode. The Eagles didn't do anything. I mean, there's no way he could sack Jalen Hurts because he was never throwing the ball. So I don't know. I just think he's probably overpaid. There's no doubt about it. So they gave up 2 first-round picks to pay him more than anyone ever. At least Jerry can make an argument there. It's not the worst trade ever. I mean, I understand they need a Micah Parsons. I'm not sure Howie Roseman wouldn't have thought the same way Jerry will. I mean, he probably tried to trade for Micah, but $46 million.
We know he did.
Would you take? I don't think actually. Would you do that? I'd pay that for Myles Garrett. I would not pay that for Micah Parsons.
Okay, but we're going to relitigate the Micah Parsons trade. What I'm trying to say is last night you saw at least the shape of what this could look like, not for this season, for next year, to build something good with Quinnen Williams. But to be honest, like they're making up for all of this because of the Micah Parsons trade.
Yeah, you could say that, or you could say, listen, we had Micah Parsons and we clearly weren't good. Like they let 48,
clearly not good. I mean,
48 points to the Packers in the playoffs.
Okay, but they were also won 12 games that year and actually were in the playoffs. Like, I
they
guess
just got run over again and again and again and again. Something had to change.
Okay, well, that's not all on one person. And right now they have a below 500 record. So maybe the change that they made wasn't the right one. Again, we'll relitigate Micah Parsons till the end of time.
But it's the same topic, really. Like, they wanted to shift. And now I think you're pointing to the optimism because now there seems to be building the defense the right way. You have to be able to stop the run to some degree. Otherwise, you can't have any defense.
Okay, you're giving Jerry too much credit here because if he
You started out giving Jerry credit.
About Micah. If this was the grand plan to never pay Micah Parsons, why did they wait till a week before the season? They had all the time in the world to trade him, to get more, to open this up to a team that's not the Packers. We can go back through this rabbit hole if you want to. Jerry wanted Micah Parsons back and is now pivoted because he couldn't get Micah to sign at the number he wanted. Now he's saying, well, we never wanted him.
Right.
That's not true.
Now you're right. I'm buying into the Jerry narrative that they said, listen, we stink against the run. We're not going to pay this guy $46 million and then get just trounced by the run game in the playoffs. So that's what he's saying after it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
He did pivot. But now you're seeing the fruits of that logic. And you started the show by saying,
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. So now they're going to be stout up the middle with Quentin Williams. It sure looks that way. And that they might have tripped into a better strategy because let's face it, if Micah Parsons was there this year, they'd have all the same problems that they had coming into this. They overpay guys. Everybody gets hurt. Dak Prescott has been healthy this year, so that's good. But generally, they keep on doing the same kind of things over and over again.
Yeah, like I think it looks good now, but I'm also acknowledging that they're making up for what the mistakes that they made. But at least they're trying to do that, I guess. And I do think it's for next year. I do not think they're making the playoffs. And I think it's going to look obviously a lot different against Philadelphia next week. But for one night on the field, you get to see what this could look like. Now you get, you get problems. You got to sign George Pickens. It's going to be interesting to see how they navigate the offseason. And on the Raiders side of it, we have a poll up. Who's got to go? The Raiders, Twitter's down. Lovely.
So no poll. Sorry, people.
Come on, Elon. But we'll get the poll up when Twitter goes back up. You're always welcome to come into the chat, youtube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. Pearl, it's bad on the field for the Raiders. It doesn't look like Pete Carroll has built a culture, a foundation. The roster is just completely depleted. It's just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a mess for how many years? 20? You mentioned something about how we've had one Pro Bowler since 2020, right?
Yeah, since that they've drafted 48 players since 2020. One of them has been a Pro Bowl. It's Brock Bowers.
Can we just remind everyone that they drafted in 2019, Mike Mayock and John Gruden drafted Cleveland Farrell, number 4 overall. Shocked the world. That was not good. And then they drafted, Gary Ed Conley in 2017. Carl Joseph in 2016. They had so many years of bad picks to make up for, and they couldn't do it. There's just no way. It was bad thinking to bring in Pete Carroll and think you're going to win immediately, but you didn't have the bones of a roster to work with.
Let's keep this energy.
Right double, X jet, 36 counter naked waggle at 7, X quarter on 1. Ready, break.
Let's keep this in mind, by the way, those bad drafts and everything. When we start doing the coaching carousel thing and John Gruden's name keeps coming up, like he was not a good coach with the Raiders. Let's keep this energy because his name's going to get mentioned a lot. And he was not a good coach.
Did he have one good year? Am I imagining that?
No, they went to the playoffs with Rich Bisaccia as the interim, and they lost to the Bengals.
He not? Who was the coach when Derek Carr had that great year?
Jack Del Rio.
Jack Del Rio, I want to say.
Yeah, and then Carr got hurt. I think they won 12 games that year or something like that. But Jack Del Rio was the coach. No, Gruden started the year as the coach. Those horrible emails got leaked. He didn't even actually get fired. They allowed him to resign. And Rich Bisaccia took over. Remember that stupid last game of the season with him and Brandon Staley and the Chargers? Yeah. And if they had just tied, they both would have made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Instead, Brandon Staley stupidly called a timeout, forced the Raiders to kick a game-winning field goal. They did it. Bisaccia's the hero. They go to Cincinnati. They get beat.
Right. So actually, Gruden was 4-12, 7-9, 8-8, then 3-2 when he resigned. That's actually for Raiders. build a statue outside the building.
Get him an eternal flame. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. You can weigh in there. Pearl, I don't know if you saw this yesterday, but we are officially in the time in college football we are tracking flights. We're tracking private jets now. It's PJ season. Get your PJs on the PJ.
Okay,
God.
Maggie.
Guys, listen, I understand rap lyrics, okay? Do I have to explain everything to you?
All right, rap genius.
Anyway, Lane Kiffin, that's whose private jet we were tracking. Actually, to be fair, the report is it was LSU's private jet that flew to Mississippi to get Lane's family to bring them to Baton Rouge to show them around, including Lane's ex-wife. That's the report. We also know that Ole Miss, again, reportedly has given Lane Kiffin a deadline. They need to know whether he's going to be back before the Egg Bowl, which is not this week, next week.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm just curious, like, what's a tour of Baton Rouge like?
I don't know. I'd love to
How
take
long does that take?
You go to a gator farm.
We did that.
Yeah.
I mean, like a gator farm, and then you look at the state capitol or something. I don't know.
Come on, guys. I mean,
How many people
I'd
live
love to
in
get
Baton
a tour
Rouge?
of Baton Rouge. That'd be
I
fantastic.
think it's a pretty big city.
It's the capital of Louisiana, so there's got to be something to do there. At least one bar.
No, come on.
Infinite bars in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we're
I've
gonna
never
get great
been there.
food.
It's
We're gonna.
Louisiana, bro.
You got to just let it all. Let them give you the tour. Show you around.
So there's 227,000 people in Baton Rouge, but isn't the college like 85,000 people? So, but yeah, no, it sounds fun.
In college, that sounds like a lot of people. In a university?
LSU is huge, isn't it? Or Penn State's like 100,000.
Guys are getting lost in the details here. We got an ultimatum for a head coach about whether or not he's going to stay at Ole Miss or go to LSU.
Well, I think the detail is what do you have to do? Like, what's that tour like? That's the big thing right here.
No.
Yeah, totally. Like the family's going to make the decision here. Clearly, LSU's smart. Get the wife, the ex-wife, the kids, sell them first, and then Lane has no choice.
Okay, so here's why I think Lane Kiffin is going to take this job. Because Lane Kiffin has failed in some really high-profile spots, Pearl. Failed at the Raiders, failed at USC. He's not afraid to fail. I think it's, he's now been on this rehab tour where he has, had to start at a smaller school and then work his way back up, build Ole Miss. We're in the NIL era. I think it's really helped. He obviously has an eye for quarterbacks, of course, and that helps as well. I just think that Lane Kiffin, everything about his history has shown you that he is all about upward trajectory. And this is not a diss on Ole Miss at all, but even Lane only a few years ago said it's hard to compete with the schools that fundraise like some of the biggest boys in the SEC. Yeah. That's Lane's own words. And I know there's a lot of discrepancy, like how much money does LSU really have? And, who are the really rich schools? Obviously, we know the Texas schools may be on a different level. But I think he's going to look at LSU and say, this is a step up. Now, whether that's right or wrong in this new era, we'll all find out together. But I think that Lane Kiffin sees this as an upward mobility, upward trajectory. He's a climber, and he's not afraid to fail at the highest level. Like, he would not care about failing at LSU. But I think he's wired that way.
Are we 100% sure that LSU has the definitive edge over Florida, who also flew his family out?
Sure. I don't know who has more money.
I think, Lane likes to boat, too. I think for me,
Take a
Lane,
job on your hobbies.
Lane grew up in Tampa Bay, I imagine. I think Monty was there for most of the time. I think Florida's a very alternative. Like, to me, both those jobs are kind of equal. So I'm curious, you bring a good point. Who's going to pay up more, LSU or Florida? This is an interesting market.
But I think you and I are in lockstep. We both think he's going to leave Ole Miss. Or are you not like that?
I would say I would go, if I had to handicap it myself, I would go 45% LSU, 25% Florida, and then 15% Ole Miss.
Okay,
Don't
so
check
yes,
that
leaving.
math. I think it's most likely he leaves, yeah. But then again, there are a lot of like college football experts like why he's so good at Ole Miss. He can bring in great teams there. There are people who say that. I mean, listen, Ole Miss has been loaded the last 2 years. They had Jackson Dart. Now they have two really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, what does he have to show for it?
Well, I mean, the fact that Ole Miss is awesome this year is amazing.
Right.
So, like, he's going to have a college football playoff this year to show for it.
No, exactly. Like now he's leaving on the high note. But before this year, what did Lane Kiffin won in college? Jack squat. So
right. But
he's striking while the iron's hot, and that's why I think he's going to leave. Because
Yeah,
I think that he's going to realize timing is everything in life. It's perfect timing for Lane. He's going to name the number at LSU, and I don't think, or Florida, and I don't think he's going to care if the governor gets involved to tell them to, run a spread offense or whatever.
There's definitely been a trend, though, of guys staying. They've been using these rumors to get these massive paydays at their own. That seems like the more norm now. Like Kurt Cignetti, Penn State fires James Franklin. Indiana runs up with a Brinks truck to Kurt Cignetti's house.
Mike Elko saying.
Mike Elko, right. That seems like the trend, but Ole Miss hasn't been able to do anything with Lane Kiffin. Actually, I don't know Ole Miss's financial situation. I assume that they can't pay up like LSU.
I only know what Lane said about it publicly. Now, the other thing about this is you mentioned it. This is a great opportunity here for Ole Miss, right? They're likely going to be in the college football playoff. They're in, right? We can call it what it is. Even if they lost the Egg Bowl, I think they would. Well, let's just say this looks good for them. Ole Miss is saying they need an answer from Lane before the Egg Bowl. So is he going to coach the college? Let's say he's leaving. Does he coach the college football playoff?
Wasn't there
or does an interim coach do it?
I think there's a report that they said whether he would not, right? I think I saw that in the Egg Bowl report.
I did not see it about whether or not he would remain on as head coach. So maybe someone can enlighten me there. But man, talk about a distraction for your team. You finally get to these heights that you rarely get to at Ole Miss. And now it's a whole thing about your coach and distractions, and he might not even be your head coach for the college football playoff. And even if he is, he's already got a foot out the door. That's tough. That's the bad part of college football when all this, I'm not begrudging Lane for taking his opportunity, but this is the tough part because you have this great positivity about what's going on at Ole Miss, and now it's kind of, I don't want to say clouded, but now it's going to be the biggest story is what's your coach going to do? Not can you win an opening round game against God knows who. Yeah,
I mean, listen, anybody who says players should not be able to move and get paid, just look at this Lane Kiffin situation. Of course they should. It's funny. If they let go of Lane Kiffin, if he leaves and they don't let him coach, maybe that's a rallying point. Maybe Ole Miss gets fired up. I don't know. I assume Lane Kiffin does the entire game plan and play calling, so that would be a bit of a blow. But maybe it's a rallying point, and Trinidad Chambliss just goes bananas in the playoff. I mean, they're not going to be favored to win anything anyway. I think they'll probably be, 7th or 8th in odds. But so it's a long stretch to think that Lane Kiffin's going to win the title here.
Well, did people say that about Ohio State when they got into the college football playoff? Probably. Did we think Penn State was going to the semifinals? I don't think so.
Ohio State was, I would imagine, to go back as 2nd or 3rd.
They had just lost to Michigan.
Yeah, but they were stacked.
Maybe Charlie Weiss Jr., the offensive coordinator, takes over at Ole Miss? I don't know. I'm glad this guy's calling in. Big Easy. He's our boots on the ground in New Orleans. Easy, what's the latest on Lane Kiffin and his family taking a tour of Baton Rouge?
Well, I've seen Kim Mulkey talk about how his family was there. They were there for the games. They haven't missed a football game. They were there for the basketball game. And as far as Florida goes, they have 2 other major colleges in Florida. There's no competition in Louisiana. If you coach the LSU Tigers, you are it in Louisiana. And I'm gonna tell you something. He is a offensive-minded coach, but Georgia, LSU, and Texas and Alabama, those are all kids that love their schools. They were born in that state, and I'm talking about defensive players. They stay in their state, and all he has to do is bring that offense here, and he's already going to have the defense set up. I'm telling you, he's not going nowhere. He's staying right here in Louisiana, and he's going to be here for our coach for the next 10 years. I love your show. Got to go, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you, Big Easy. So I didn't see the Kiffin family was at a women's basketball game yesterday.
What do you think is the higher ceiling? That's a big question here. Florida Gators or LSU Tigers?
I mean, recently it's been LSU.
I think it's a great
LSU.
debate. I mean, I think obviously LSU's never been a wagon like Urban Meyer's Florida Gators or like Steve Spurrier's Florida Gators. So I think the ceiling is higher for Florida overall. The way you're saying that, you don't think they can ever get back to the Spurrier days or the
college football is different, you know.
But yeah, I don't know why they couldn't though. I mean, it is a massive, massive school with you'd think every resource humanly possible. It's a good point they have to compete with Florida State, but still, I think Florida could make a great case. It does seem like the wind is blowing toward LSU, but I'm not quite sure why Florida doesn't go all in.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We got this going with the Cowboys and the Raiders last night. And now Lane Kiffin and his family getting a tour of Baton Rouge. Is Twitter back up, EJ? Still down? Hey, it's up. So you can go vote on our poll about the Raiders. Who's got to go? Somebody's got to go.
Question, do you guys think when Lane Kiffin gets off the plane, he'll start talking like Brian Kelly?
I'm here with my family.
If he didn't learn that lesson.
I mean, it feels like the visor culture will translate well to either Baton Rouge or Gainesville. I feel like Lane will fit right in easily. I mean, he's in Ole Miss right now. Brian Kelly was coming from Notre Dame. It's a little different, Manny.
A little bit more culture shock, is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, Lane Kiffin was born to coach in the SEC. I guess. I mean, again, he's from Tampa Bay, right? Isn't he? He's
you keep asking.
Guy.
I don't know. Look it up.
Yeah. No, he's like,
I don't have Lane Kiffin's birth certificate.
If you watch, like, what Lane Kiffin's vibe is very much wear a visor, get on a boat, go fishing. I feel like he just sort of fits.
Went to high school in Minnesota.
Oh, he did?
Probably where his dad was coaching.
Yeah, I was just, I don't know where his dad was coaching. But doesn't he feel like an SEC coach, or he's been in the SEC? And he loves mixing it up with the other SEC coaches. Definitely. Brian Kelly, on the other hand, was completely a totally out of left field guy for the SEC. Tried to fit in, but it didn't work.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. We got a lot on the table for you today. We still have more news. A big hiring happened yesterday in college football, so we'll get to that. Also, do you guys know this kids book? Pearl, you'd know it. It's like The No Good, Very Bad Day. That's familiar.
Oh, it's a movie, right?
It's a movie. It's a book.
Yeah. I've never read it, but I've heard of it.
It's something in The No Good, Very Bad Day. That was ShedeurSanders on Sunday. And not just on the field, as we learned. So we'll get to that as well. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
All right, Maggie, we have a busy night in sports. We got tons of NBA, tons of hockey, and the best place to enjoy that is Prize Picks. Because if you're right, you could win big. And right now on Prize Picks, you can get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's so simple to use. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big.
How about your girl last night? Big winner on Prize Picks. I went more than on George Pickens receiving yards, and then I went less than on a combination of stats for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and I hate to win this way, but unfortunately he left the game with a groin injury, and so I ended up being a winner there. Hey, sometimes you just get a little bit lucky, and Prize Picks is so fun. It's become the obsession of the show. Manny, I know you're into Franz Wagner, 24.5 points tonight. Orlando Magic playing against the Warriors. I'm going to go more than. I think the ball's going to move quite a bit here. And then maybe I'll pair it with a little Darius Acuff. I like Arkansas basketball. How about 19.5 points tonight? They're playing Winthrop. They should have a big night. Prize Picks. So easy to use. Just download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MMP. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MMP on Prize Picks. You get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. So win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, it is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been when it's right, why wait until the middle of a cold, dark night? When everything's a little...
Manny, is there
Welcome
something
back.
you want to tell us?
Manny.
Big plans?
Is this
for
the
later?
actual song, or this is not the version from Anchorman?
This is not the version from Anchorman. Can you believe that? That is not Steve Carell's voice.
Because half my algorithm is different places where Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd are singing Afternoon Delight from Anchorman, and it's awesome. They sometimes will break out into a cappella. It's the best. Any reason, Manny?
Big
no,
Afternoon?
none. No, I just listened to the song yesterday, and what a ditty.
Yeah, it's a nice little tune. By the way, did some research in the break.
Yeah.
Lane Kiffin.
I love Lamb.
Who is now either going to stay at Ole Miss, go to LSU, or Florida. He had 6 different homes from his teenage years because his dad moved around every single year. But I kind of grew up in Arkansas, North Carolina. He will fit perfectly at LSU or Florida, and he kind of fits perfectly at Ole Miss. we were debating, is it done at Ole Miss? I still give it a 15% chance. I don't think it's done. And the reason I say that is it seems like everybody is staying right now. The trend seems to be to stay in college football, and I don't quite know why Ole Miss wouldn't try to find the money to keep this guy.
Usually, though, when a coach stays, we don't get the back and forth.
Yeah, no, you're right.
All of a sudden, Kurt Cignetti, it just like the bag dropped down the table. It's like, here's $100 million. Mike Elko, right before the game, the last game, it's just like, here's a massive contract extension. Kind of comes out of nowhere. This one is a private jet going to get Lane and his family. They're going to an LSU women's basketball game, apparently. That's not so behind the scenes.
Right. Indiana didn't let the private jet land. They're like, here's the bag. I don't know what's happening over there at the airport. Ignore that blue and white plane that just landed. Just don't get on that thing. Here's some money.
Meanwhile, we did get a hire in college football yesterday. James Franklin, who was shown the door at Penn State, major expectations this year. They fell flat, lost 3 games, and he has now resurfaced at Virginia Tech. So, Pearl, I'll ask you this question. Do you think James Franklin will be more successful at Virginia Tech than he was at Penn State?
No. I think Virginia Tech, I wasn't even a kid. Virginia Tech used to be a real contender. It feels like so long ago. That is a program that feels like Ole Miss has a ceiling on it, where Penn State did not. I think Penn State, he could get to the Final Four. I can't picture in my mind's eye Virginia Tech being a Final Four team again. I don't know exactly why, but it's not the days of Michael Vick and even before that where they were a real powerhouse.
Okay, but I'm going to disagree. I actually think he can have more success at Virginia Tech than he can have at Penn State, because I'm looking at the ACC and I'm looking at the air quotes powers in the ACC, and I'm looking at Clemson, who's not had a good season. I'm looking at Florida State, who's not had a good season. EJ's Miami Hurricanes calendar goes to November, and who knows what the hell's going on. So to me, and Louisville finds a banana peel. So, Bill Belichick hasn't worked out in North Carolina. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you would think you can get a hold of an ACC school, and if you either you win the league, or even if you come up as the runner-up in this current form of the college football playoff, you're probably getting in.
Yeah. Why is that more success than Penn State?
Well, because I don't have to play Ohio State.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
I don't want to play Michigan. I don't want to play any of the other top 10 Big Ten teams that he's had to play and James Franklin famously lost against.
But I'm just saying, if you get in and you're an ACC team that sneaks in, why is that more successful than Penn State, who had a legitimate chance to win the title?
Well, because I think that it's all about expectations, right? Mm-hmm. And if you make the college football playoff, I think the expectation is you're excited if you win a game. You make the college football playoff from Penn State, if you don't win the whole thing, it's like you're already on the hot seat, clearly.
I think there's a better chance that he won't be seen as a disappointment at Virginia Tech the way he is at Penn State. I think if James Franklin does essentially kind of what he was doing at Vanderbilt, I think that people at Virginia Tech will be like, wow, we finally back. Like, we're actually relevant. We're winning football games. He's got the program pointing in the right direction. At Penn State, the bar was so much higher. They won national championships. And he made them having a better winning percentage, quote unquote. But there's a chance that James Franklin, because we forget how good he was at Vanderbilt, that maybe this is a program that he's better suited for. One of these kind of second-tier programs where you can surprise people. Maybe you make the playoffs a couple of times. I think he'll leave maybe Virginia Tech in a much better place than he did when he left Penn State.
Yeah, but again, what's the ultimate ceiling here? Like, James Franklin, I would think, wants to be a national championship winning coach, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think Virginia Tech did. From 1999, here's a stat. Through 2005, Frank Beamer had Virginia Tech in the top 10 4 out of 6 years. They've been in the top 10 once in 2007, and they haven't been ranked at the end of the year for now 8 years in a row. Like, that program has definitely hit hard times. Are they ready to be big time in the NIL era? I don't know. I mean, EJ's right. Like, obviously Franklin can recruit.
Apparently he recruits that area very well too. And this is more for the Penn State, crowd here, but the Hampton Roads, like, he's been very successful going down there with Penn State and getting talent.
I actually, when I was at ESPN Thursday Night Football, we did a game at Virginia Tech, and it's an amazing place because that's where Lee Corso's car got hit by lightning in the middle of a game. Have you guys ever seen that video?
Crazy.
Because it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's a stadium, and then there's just fields. And this was actually the year before he got hit by lightning, and then a massive storm rolled in the day we were there, and it was terrifying. I mean, Virginia Tech's it's quite out there. That's the thing. Like, I don't know.
And Penn State's not?
Well,
Happy Valley
Penn State's different, though, because it's the only school in that area. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's just I feel like there is a ceiling on Virginia Tech. I'm really curious to see if he can bring it higher. I don't think he thinks of it as like, oh, we have low expectations, and if I can get them playoffs. I think he thinks of himself as a national championship winning coach, for better or worse. I'm very curious how this works out. It'd be interesting to see them be elite again. It'd be kind of awesome.
Let's get to Andrew Bogish, who's got headlines. You can call us 888-710-4ISN. Will James Franklin be more successful at Virginia Tech than he was at Penn State? What's up, Bogs?
Guys, good morning again. Your headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Your small business keeps you on the go. Progressive Commercial Insurance keeps your policy within reach with our easy-to-use mobile app. Learn more at progressivecommercial.com. Hey, Raiders, when you lose Kevin Harlan on Westwood 1, you've lost everything.
Back here in Las Vegas, the Cowboys win it. They beat the Raiders. It really wasn't a competition. 33-16. They led at one time 31-9. From late first quarter to the mid-third quarter, the Cowboys scored 4 touchdowns. I'm having a hard time. What is that word right there? What is that word? 7DS? I can't even. Hold on. I can't read that. Let's check the final stats. Either might. Although, is that touchdown? But that looks like a 7.
Kevin, you wrote it. You can forgive him for being elsewhere mentally after the Cowboys put that hurting on the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
Prescott out of the shotgun. Fake the handoff, roll right. Now step up in the pocket. Throw it over the middle. The ball is caught by Pickens. Turns to the outside. 20, 15, 10. Back to the inside. 5. Touchdown. What a throw and catch and run by George Pickens. And the Cowboys go up 23-6.
That's our friend Jerry Recco on Compass Media Networks. And because he was doing that, that's why he wasn't here yesterday for CeeLo not to show up.
Is CeeLo here?
CeeLo's here today. Yeah, he is here today, which is why I'm here today and you're there today.
Gonna be honest, Manny did a great job yesterday,
I was waiting for that. It's fine.
I mean,
I'm not surprised.
Everyone shuffling chairs, did a great job. EJ had to slide over.
Chat liked it. I'll tell you that much.
Did they?
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
You better watch your back.
All right. Wally Pip situation.
Challenge accepted.
Yep.
Let's go.
Manny's on your corner. Should we do an update off? Who's got the better lines?
Is that a battle? Is a rap battle happening?
Yeah, it's a versus.
Yeah, that'd be a good cliffhanger for 2026. Like, who's the update on January 2nd? Tune in to find out.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Jerry Recco calls Monday Night Football games?
No.
Cowboys.
So the Cowboys have this, because they're America's team, they have their own almost national radio package that these games go everywhere other than Dallas, where the great Brad Sham actually does the truest home. But so there is a secondary national Cowboy broadcast every week, and Jerry does some of those games.
The reason I was asking, I would think people would know if Jerry did every Monday Night Football game, then you always have to fill in for him on Monday. But this was a one-off, and that's why this whole drama started. Okay.
Well, I mean, yes and no. There was one-off or all the time. There were emails that were not replied to, read, which led to yesterday's cluster, you know what. But I'm glad Manny did well.
Cluster what?
Yep. I'll tell you in your ear. And then you can say it on the air.
Can you spell it?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Maggie can spell it.
All right, when Kevin Harlan had that mistake there, his voice is so interesting. Even that sounded kind of cool. You know what I mean? It's just there's just a gravitas.
What did I write?
What did I read? And so I was still engaged with him. I don't know why. That guy's voice is magic.
That was the most exciting thing to happen tonight.
And it's always the same. I don't know what he does to preserve that voice. I don't know what kind of tea he drinks or warm-ups he does. But other guys, sometimes you can just tell they got a cold, they got this, they got that, they're tired. This guy does 3 games in 4 nights, TV, radio, and his voice.
I'm dirty.
It's always Kevin Harlan's voice.
Yeah, and he delivers a good game or a bad game.
Yeah.
He's sort of, I mean, Maggie, I don't know.
Top of the profession,
You've always, since I got here, you were such a big fan of Kevin Harlan.
Oh, I love Harlan. I love Harlan, Iron Eagle. I love all the Westwood One broadcasters.
Stuff all over the place.
They just know talent. And I wonder about Harlan, though, is he's got a very distinct voice. Does he order a pizza that way? Now, you don't have to do that stuff anymore. Everything's on an app now.
Right.
But I always wonder about
His hair does not move.
He's just I'd like 1 large pie, and I'm Kevin Harlan.
Oh, that's a great prank. I mean, if I was like a teenager working at I love sports. I'm a teenager working at a Pizza Hut or whatever, and I get that voice. I'm like, no way.
I'd know it
No
immediately.
way.
But we're
It is
nerds.
brought to you by the new crispy tenders at CarMax.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I think I would know almost every major announcer if they made a phone call about something.
Okay, can I tell you this? So when I was an intern a long time ago for Westwood One, we did get famous people calling the office quite a bit, and I was the lowest person on the totem pole, so I was usually answering the phones for said people.
Nice.
And actually, this brings it full circle to last night. Jim Gray used to call all the time, and I did not recognize his voice, even though I was very familiar with Jim Gray. All the boxing, all the baseball, everything, and I could not place him. Everyone else, though, Don Criqui used to call. Super cool.
In a weird way, Jim Gray
Boomer used to call.
Jim Gray doesn't talk as much as a play-by-play announcer, though.
That's true.
So it may be a little harder. I don't know. Would I know Aaron Andrews' voice immediately? Probably not. Again, these are short hits they're doing.
That's
If you're
true.
a sideline reporter.
If she calls that, who? Westbrook? Oh, what was that line? What's her favorite line?
No, it's Crabtree.
Crabtree. Oh, I got Michael Westbrook and Michael Crabtree confused.
Who was talking about you?
Yes, who was talking about
You called me.
By the way, that Jerry highlight of the George Pickens touchdown, the third Dak Prescott TD pass of the second quarter, that's when the game was decided, according to Pete Carroll.
There was a space in that game. There were 3 or 4 drives in a row, and we couldn't get off the field. And it wasn't all third down stuff. They did a nice job. They have a really good offense, and they do a nice job with it.
Yeah, should have been prepared for it. His team won its opener in New England, don't forget, but has dropped 8 of 9 since, including the last 4, allowing 30-plus points 3 times in that stretch. The Cowboys, meanwhile, get win number 4. Dak Prescott, his 13th career game of 4 or more TD passes. The Sixers were down 10, 8:45 to go last night. They beat the Clippers 110-108. Tyrese Maxey scored 39. Paul George had 9 points, 7 rebounds in 21 minutes in his season debut. So he played, and B did not. And Cooperstown finalized this year's Hall of Fame ballot yesterday. There are 12 first-timers on the list, including Cole Hamels, Ryan Braun, and Matt Kemp, none of whom are Hall of Famers. Carlos Beltran is the leading returner after falling 19 votes shy of enshrinement a year ago.
Well, you can't be calling yourself playoff P and lose all the time.
Wait, Boogs, was that just an opinion of yours?
Yes, correct.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
Braun's not going to get in because he's a steroid guy.
Right.
Yeah, you don't think Cole Hamels,
I
my
don't
guy?
I don't think your guy's a Hall of Famer.
Matt Kemp is so good. That's a shame, but you're right.
Very good.
But, I don't know if that's your job to already bias the voters against him, Bogues.
Oh, I'm sorry if Tyler Kepner's listening. I think he's going to make up his own minds.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Chase Utley, you're never making the Hall of Fame.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, lots to do today, including we're reacting to the big Cowboy win over the Raiders last night. Also, we got a suspension that came down yesterday. And tough day for ShedeurSanders, both on and off the field. We've got an update for you. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Well, infinity died with a thud so loud. It scared the pigeons off the goddamn cloud. People packed up faster than a bad first date. And bloody, yeah, that man was gone before they even closed the gate. They checked his desk, checked the hall, checked the bathroom stall like he might have hit a wall. But no, he dipped out like a criminal on the run. A master class and I'm never coming back, son. And folks whispered maybe there's a merger, maybe a fix. But nobody, this thing blew up like a firecracker in a box of beer. It's Glorio splat, that big messy crash. Infinity hit the pavement like a sack of hot trash. It's all over now, no merger, no deal. Just a cosmic middle finger and a this is real. A lot of ghosted words like it owed him money. And Daly's out there smashing Ruben Pierre. It's hilarious, honey. Infinity is dead, the frontier is clear. Daly owns the courts and Pete ain't fucking here. Rube shows up with a racket like today's my day. Pierre's got wristbands like he's headed to the ballet. They stretch, they grunt, their hopes are high. Daly shows up and they immediately want to cry. Daly fire serves like he's pissed at God, while Rube whiffs so hard it's honestly odd. Pierre swings like he's mixing pancake batter. Daly wins again like it even matters. Glorious flat, the end came quick, no merger coming, not a damn trick. Infinity flatline like a possum in the road, and Daly's handing ass whoopings in tennis mode. Pierre's praying for mercy, Ruba's lost his soul. Daly sends them home like pay the damn toll. And Bilotti, a ghost, a legend, a myth. His PDO balance must be absolutely fucking sick.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
This song makes me think of road trips, and Pearl, you have yet to take yours to apologize to Victor Wembanyama for calling him Wembustyama.
I don't know.
Now he's hurt.
I don't know. Do I need to apologize, Maggie? Let's talk about it. 3 weeks with a calf strain. That doesn't sound like things are going great.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, is Perloff going to be proven right here that Wembanyama could be a bust? And then I thought of this question. Do you guys consider an athlete a bust if only their career was derailed with injuries? Like none of the personal stuff. They didn't.
Wembustyama?
They didn't they're not a party in their own demise. Like it's just their body couldn't hold up.
Well,
like Bo Jackson or something like that. It was a devastating injury. He's not a bust, obviously, but I'm just saying someone whose career got cut short because of injury.
Well, first of all, let me say, obviously Wembanyama's not a bust. We're joking. He's already awesome.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Could he never be considered a bust now?
Sam Bowie is considered the all-time bust, and that was purely injuries.
That's true. He didn't have personal, like a drug habit or something like that.
Greg Odom was injuries, and he was also he admitted he was an alcoholic. But
Sam Bowie also was different because of who got picked after him.
Right, but he was a bust because of injuries. I mean, that happened. It used to happen all the time with big men in the NBA. Yeah, I mean, I think injuries are definitely considered a bust. Don't you think? I mean, when you look at the history of busts,
I know. I feel like we need a different word for it because when I think about a guy who was a bust, it was almost like a Johnny Manziel, like somebody who
Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, like somebody who also didn't have the work ethic, didn't understand the opportunity, had a problem off the field where they just couldn't get their acts together.
What about Zion Williamson though? Because he's been injuries, but he's contributed to that.
Exactly. Like, for Wemby, the guy's flying all around the world, studying with monks. I mean, he's trying to do everything he possibly can. It's just 7'7" is not going to fly in this world.
Brandon Roy a bust?
Well, I mean,
Definitely not. He was an all-star.
They knew he was hurt when they drafted him. Like, he already had 2 bad knees.
Yeah.
So, one thing, why Zion, though, you're saying Zion is at fault because of the eating?
I mean, that's the theory, is that because he is not in the best shape, that has been part of the reason why he keeps getting hurt. Right. That's not a hot take. That's what a lot of people say.
I know. But that's like, so, okay. So, it's different things with different. So, if you can't control your diet, because that's happened to a lot of players where they've eaten their way out of the league in the NFL and NBA.
William Bust.
Then you're a bust. Yeah, I mean, I think what you're thinking of, Maggie, is famously Ryan Leaf ran into a lot of problems. He's talked about it on our show many times. Jamarcus Russell, I don't know, was he just bad? I'm not sure what the reason was behind him.
I think there was something about a purple drink. I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, there was a purple drink involved, I believe.
Anyway.
Jamarcus Russell, though? Yeah, even when he was on the field.
That's LSU's colors, school spirit. Yeah.
I mean, why was Achilles Smith a bust? Well, I'm looking at a list.
He was bad, I think. I don't think there was any injuries.
I think he was just a spread quarterback in college. Why Trey Lance was a combo. He broke his leg, and he was about to get the starting job. Yeah, I don't know. What did Zach Wilson do anything personally wrong? He was just bad. So he's not like a Johnny Manziel. I mean,
Wilson,
unless you count possible forays with your mom's friends.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
But I think that's
Does that
a plus.
make him a bust or a legend?
No, that's A+ work right there.
I was going to say, that puts him in some kind of rarefied air.
I don't know. We should maybe have Ryan on to talk about that. Do injuries count? Because he used to have a podcast called Bust.
Yep.
And you're right. There's so much more to it. But Wemby's going to be fine, by the way. We're not going to put that out into the universe. He's going to be fine. I was wrong. I definitely should drive down to San Antonio at my earliest convenience.
By the way, Jamarcus Russell said he would mix codeine with soda and hard candy to create his purple drink lean.
That's the OG right there.
That old recipe.
Yeah. So I think it's fair to say he was a bust.
Jolly Ranchers at the bottom.
Is that the grandmother's passed that down? It's not exactly like a.
Didn't Ryan Mallett have some purple drink in his history too?
He had everything, unfortunately. I know he passed away.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. I feel like even if you do have injuries, bust may be a harsh word, but I think you are still a disappointment. Like to me, like Greg Oden will always be a disappointment. It's not his fault that he's a disappointment per se, or Sam Bowie. Not their fault, but you're still a massive disappointment. So maybe it's mincing words, but I do feel like if you're an injury guy and you can't get on the field or on the court, you didn't fulfill whatever your promise was in terms of being a top pick to that team and to that city. So in that case, in many ways, you still are.
High draft pick who just stunk, Anthony Bennett. Boom.
Yeah, he just stunk.
Oh.
He had sleep apnea, though. I mean, how happens to that?
Well, so do I. So
wait, get out of here.
He had sleep apnea?
Seriously, yeah.
He needs that CPAP machine or whatever they call it. What's it called? You wear a mask.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah, right.
The worst draft. I mean, by the way, there was no one better behind him. That was the worst draft. That was Oladipo. But Oladipo got hurt all the time, too.
You know, Oladipo's in the G League now? I had no idea.
Coaching?
No, he's playing for the Wisconsin Herd.
He was playing with a Chinese team before in the preseason for a little bit. I guess at G League, someone picked him up. But he's still flirting around. He had the same patella tendon injury I had.
Ooh.
So that's a tough one to come back from. He's been trying to come back, but it's tricky.
So have you.
Yeah.
I mean, EJ, it's been a tough run. It's been a great run for you and a tough run. Like, ever since you got engaged, it's been this real mixed bag.
Marriage,
I'd love to get off this roller coaster.
Yeah, the highs are high. You get engaged. You're getting married in June. The lows are low. The patella tendon, the bed bugs, and now the latest from yesterday.
Yeah. My situation, that was not fun last night.
And you're still a Jets fan.
And the Jets aren't helping. But here's the thing. Everyone in New York has been there. It doesn't matter. It's just part of life, unfortunately. Everyone has been there with a mouse in the house.
Oh, the worst. By the way, I pulled up a list of most injured players of all time, and Greg Oden was number 1 on this list. But there was a Jets quarterback that EJ loves that was in the top 5.
Aaron Rodgers.
Chad Pennington.
Yeah.
All-time favorite Jet.
That is
That's
a dude
handsome.
who's a really good player, just couldn't stay healthy. But he's not a bust at all. He had a couple problems.
No, he was good. He was a very good player when he was on the field.
You know how we have like designations, like a guy is out for, mental health reasons, or he's out because an ankle sprain. Like we need different designations for busts. Like if you're just a bust because of injury, that's different than if you're a bust because,
You're Anthony Bennett.
So it should be like,
or you got in trouble.
so bust-BOI, bust because of injury instead of DNP.
Yeah, but then you
BOI.
got the Zion and Greg Oden issues. It's not going to be
Gray
clear.
area.
Gray area.
Little column A, little column B. That will be the designation officially. All right, coming up, more from the Cowboys last night.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Prescott under center, moves its tight end, gets the snap, fakes the handoff, got the block, end zone throw, touchdown on a dive on the far side. And it's caught there with a terrific grab by the Dallas Cowboys, Ryan Flournoy.
That was Kevin Harlan on Westwood One. Dak Prescott throws 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers last night, and it was a bit of a laugher. Dallas wins 33-16, Pearl, and it never even felt anywhere close. Dallas debuting a new defense with Quinnen Williams now in the middle of it. Looked pretty good, but again, hard to tell against the Raiders because they are epically bad this year.
Well, big test obviously is the Eagles next Sunday. I think they're going to be okay. I honestly think everyone's getting healthy at the same time. They're going to be a better team the second half of the year. Play at least spoiler, maybe make a run at a winning record. But to me, also, you can't forget the defense for 1 second. How good did Dak Prescott, George Pickens, and CeeDee Lamb look with Javonte Williams being effective? They have not just triplets, quadruplets now.
Full house. Listen, on a night that was, one where the Cowboys were certainly playing with heavy hearts with Marshawn Nealon. This is the first time they've been back on the field since his tragic death, and they were all wearing shirts. A lot of people wearing shirts with his face on it. And obviously there was, a lot of emotion here. And I'm, just looking at on the field, like whether or not they use this as a galvanizing force, they certainly talked about, having to grieve together and how it's brought the team together. I'm not making light of a tragic situation. Believe me. I'm just saying there was something inspired about the way the Cowboys were playing last night. They do have a couple new faces, including Quinnen Williams, and George Pickens was added before the season started. I will never agree with the Micah Parsons trade, but if you are trying to chase that tail and you're trying to chase, making up for that trade, well, it looks like maybe they are doing some right things here. Like I do want to give Jerry credit where I feel like he deserves it. I won't give him credit for how it worked out with Parsons. I can give him credit for recognizing an opportunity with Quinnen Williams. And at least for last night, it looked like a really good move.
Well, yeah, but there's a big cost.
Yeah.
That 2027 first round pick. Now, the only reason, if they play like they did last night, that'll be in the 20s, which is fine. But say, God forbid, Dak got hurt next year and that pick flew up the boards, because it does look, all the McShays and everyone's saying 2027's draft is loaded. 2026 draft is not great. So it's not like Quinnen Williams was just handed to them for nothing. There was a big cost there.
Right. You're right. And George Pickens maybe less so. Third-round pick, took a flyer on him, and now he's excellent. Last night, 9 catches, 144 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 66 yards and a touchdown. Both guys were benched for the first series of this game for something we still don't know what happened. Obviously, must have not been conduct detrimental too much because they weren't, suspended for the whole game or something like that. But certainly bench for that first series, and they were all very tight-lipped about it after the game.
They seem, Schottenheimer, the coach, said that he loved both those guys. I just hope, my favorite scenario, the best scenario, if I could pray for anything, Cowboys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that George Pickens averages 150 yards a game from now on, and he gets into the free agent market demanding more than Jamar Chase at $40 million. And they have to pay Dak Prescott $60 million, George Pickens $43 million, and then CD gets $34 million. Can you imagine the offseason drama that this is setting up? Is it a good thing that George Pickens looks amazing? Are we sure?
Listen, I mean, you make a trade for George Pickens as he's going into his final year of his deal and he's a free agent, and you know that this is the risk that you take. It could go really well. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm not going to go back and kill the Cowboys over this and kill Jerry over it, because you did have to wait and see what Pickens was going to be like. Because there was a thought you trade for him and you hand him a contract right away, but he's a head case, and he was coming off of a situation in Pittsburgh where even Mike Tomlin couldn't get this guy to be not a nuisance and distraction at times. So he could have gone to Dallas and it could have been terrible. Meanwhile, he's minding his P's and Q's. Everything's fine for the most part. And, now he's having a career year. He's betting on himself. And I don't blame the Cowboys for not locking him up sooner, because you had to wait and see.
No, I know. But that doesn't, usually in a 1-year rental, you expect to have success that year.
Right.
So you keep talking about the Cowboys being all set up for next year, which is partly true, but they have to deal with this situation now. It's just every summer we're talking about a highly paid guy in Jerry Jones. I don't know why this summer would be any different. He's going to wait till August. It's going to be crazy dramatic.
They haven't re-signed him yet. It looks good, but I'm wondering if maybe there's a world where the Cowboys, I don't know, do they draft a guy and say maybe we're not going to swim in those deep waters with George Pickens? I don't know.
Well, they've been trying to find a number 2 for CeeDee Lamb for years. It's been a major problem. It's usually you cover CeeDee Lamb and you've stopped the Cowboys offense. So this is a different animal. And the fact that the running game looks really good too. This is great. I'm sure they want to recreate this. They probably have to use the draft on their back 4, which is their major flaw now, because unfortunately, Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs got old or something in front of our eyes. That used to be a major strength. And now that's, I think, where the major weakness on the Cowboys and the edge. So it's an interesting team. We'll give them that. And Jerry, if he wanted to create buzz, he's done it again. We fell for it. I feel like a sucker now.
Well, for me, all this is trending for next season, really, for the Cowboys. But again, a lot of decisions to be made. 888-710-4ISN. On the field, I was asking Cowboy fans earlier, is this the most hopeful you've been as far as what the roster looks like? You can see there is now serious talent on the roster. Obviously, could be too little too late for this year, but maybe for next year. And then the flip side for the Raiders, no one expected it to be this bad, I don't think, with Pete Carroll. The roster is...
I think a lot of people had... they were, 6.5, 7.5 wins. I don't think people are shocked by the Raiders being bad. Nobody had them going to the Super Bowl.
2 wins.
That
bad.
How many did they have last year?
4.
And they didn't add that much personnel at all.
Yeah, but you think that you add a competent head coach, no disrespect to Antonio Pierce, but, add a competent coach, a Super Bowl winning head coach in Pete Carroll. You did upgrade at quarterback. 100%. Even Geno has had a terrible year. It's better than Aiden O'Connell and whoever else. Minshew last year. I don't even remember who they had last year. But it was a rotation of backups. And, Geno has just not played well, both because he has no weapons around him. The offensive line is bad, but also because he's a risk taker and he'll throw picks. And it's just been such a colossal failure for Pete Carroll. I can't imagine he thought it was going to go this badly. And we're asking you this morning, who's got to go? The Raiders cannot run this back. They've got Pete Carroll. They've got Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator, who's throwing the ball all over the field last night. Meanwhile, the Cowboys statistically have one of the worst rush defenses in the entire league. You barely tested it. You took Ashton Genty with the 6th overall pick. That's going to look like a wrong place, wrong time, wrong person. Geno now I think probably gets relegated to backup/mentor role for the next quarterback, Pearl. But, changes need to happen at the Raiders.
Yeah, I forgot how close that Jags game. 2 weeks ago, they almost beat the Jags. Remember, they fell short in overtime.
Went to Denver last week and
gave
had a
Denver
game.
all they could handle.
Yeah.
Last night was bad, but at least they had some offense going. Their defense was bad. I think they get to 4 wins again this year. At least they're consistent because they got Cleveland, Houston, New York on that schedule. They could. I don't think they're going to get the number 1 overall pick. So the question is, what kind of quarterback are you getting? Because that's obviously the biggest problem right now. I know they have holes all over the roster, but if you don't have a quarterback to build around, so what is your genius Tom Brady going to do here? I don't think they're going to be in a great spot to get a quarterback.
I don't know. Tom needs to get a uniform on because
I like that.
He's not going to do it, but it's just so bad. And somebody's got to pay the price. To me, I would get rid of Chip Kelly. got to bring a different offensive coordinator in there. And maybe you give Pete Carroll another year. Now he's going to be 75. Not to sound ageist, but.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the team is not good either. I mean,
No,
the wide receiver
there's
core
no
is
talent.
terrible.
And they traded away Jacoby Myers, and he was like their best receiver, and that should tell you something.
Yeah, I mean, we should have known. I mean, I didn't think they were going to be a playoff team, so it's not that shocking that they're this bad. But they definitely, I don't know why you think they could get out of this. The whole Mark Davis ownership has been problematic. I don't think anything's changed. That Tom Brady 5% ownership deal was probably a bit of a pipe dream, Maggie.
And by the way, yes, I bought it, and he's been in it. Whatever input he's had on this team, it's not been good. But anyway, I know this is just like the camera catches people whenever they catch them, right? And this is not indicative of what it's like for the whole 4 hours or whatever you're at a football game. But man, did it seem like every time they put the camera on anyone having to do with the Raiders, they were yucking it up? Teams getting smoked by 3 touchdowns. Jim Gray saying something so funny to Tom Brady. He's doubled over in laughter. Mark Davis is sitting with all these beautiful women talking to him. It's like, is anyone give a crap that this team sucks? At the highest level. I'm talking about the people really in charge. At least, I don't know, throw something. Look upset. Everyone looked like a freaking party there last night.
Well, to be fair,
2-8.
Brady was in the first 5 minutes of the game. The Cowboys fumbled the ball deep in their own territory. It felt like the Raiders were going to have a chance.
I know, but then they kicked a field goal and you knew it was toast.
Oh, I know. They could get anywhere.
Yeah, well, they were going backwards.
Yeah, I mean, they came into the second quarter up 6-3. They had a great chance to make some noise at home. I didn't know the Cowboys were going to blow out that game at first. I thought, like, ooh, the Raiders are in this one. And they actually moved the ball a little bit. Like, as bad as Geno is, he puts up some numbers. You're right. He's better than Aiden O'Connell was last year. He was 27 for 42, 238, 1 touchdown. So they have some signs on offense, but generally, the second that George Pickens started to run through them, I'm like, oh, they don't want to be here.
It was arm tackles.
Yeah, they have no interest.
Should have traded Max Crosby. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Now they still can get some draft capital for him for next year because they need talent all over this roster. Meanwhile, it was a bad debut for Shedeur. Let's call it what it is. Cleveland Browns quarterback pro, son of Dion, thrown into the fire at halftime after Dylan Gabriel got a concussion, and it looked bad. He looked unprepared. He had definitely never seen speed like that as far as a pass rush is concerned. The Browns' offensive line also a bit powerless to stop the Ravens' rush. And Shedeur was either going backwards, sideways, threw a pick. I mean, just all around, he looked not ready for his moment.
No, you know what? I was thinking about this all night last night. He kind of looked like an NFL quarterback, though, much more so than Dylan Gabriel. He does throw a spiral.
Wow, that's
and
the
he's kind of physically, he got caught, but he could move around a little bit. I don't know. I actually was thinking about it in my mind's eye. If I was watching that game, even though Dylan Gabriel was more effective, I would think, oh, that other guy who came in late and threw the pick, at least he looks like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, he's bigger. I'll give you that.
He's bigger, and you can tell he's got an arm. I don't think it's just because of this performance. It's like done for Shedeur, and by any means.
Oh, 100% with you. Listen, guys have terrible debuts. I mean, go back and look at Peyton Manning's first starts. Some of these guys have just god-awful days, okay? Or seasons, for that matter. Some guys have terrible rookie years and come back. Again, I'll point to Peyton Manning. How many interceptions? He set the record for interceptions his rookie season, and he ends up going to the Hall of Fame. So, no. Nobody's saying that Shedeur is incapable of playing in the NFL.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, some people might want to
some people
pile on.
definitely
We're just calling
that.
it what it was. It was a bad game. But I think what people are more upset about is the process by which we got here. And by we, I mean the Browns. Because Dylan Gabriel was now your QB1. You traded away Joe Flacco. You traded away Kenny Pickett. So you have a third-round pick who's undersized in Dylan Gabriel, who himself is not playing that great. And the idea that ShedeurSanders had never taken a snap with the first team offense, the offensive line had never heard his cadence before. Like the fact that he's in theory one hit away from being the starter and never got any opportunities in practice, even a few opportunities, I think is what's not sitting well with people.
Well, I think it's a lot of people think that, but there's also a lot of people who think Shedeur is bad. I think there's two camps. The media camp obviously is going to say blame the Browns, but I think there are a lot of people who also think like they like to dunk on Shedeur. That's out there, that energy, who say, you know what, Shedeur is just bad. So no, I understand. Of course, every talking head on TV is going to say that about the Browns, but I do think there are a lot of fans who think Shedeur stinks.
Okay, well, let's hear from Cam Newton. The former MVP was on First Take yesterday on ESPN, says he thinks it's absurd that Shedeur got no first-team reps.
This is the thing that really irks me the most, is because he doesn't get any reps.
Okay, so Cam Newton, bringing it back to his own experience playing with the Carolina Panthers, says even when he was in his MVP season, his backup got reps.
My backup for majority of my career was probably the biggest blessing of my career to have a veteran in Derek Anderson. Ron Rivera still knew we're one play away, kid, from you not being available. We would have anywhere from 6 to 12 reps in every single practice that allowed Derek to still have an ability to say, hey, if it goes, how it goes.
Yeah, and that's with Cam playing all world. Now, Cam was a very physical runner, too, so probably a smart move there by Rivera. More from Cam Newton mentions how other backups have gotten reps, like, for example, Brock Purdy.
Some will say, well, Cam, you played the position any different. Well, what is that to say about Brock Purdy? Well, what is that to say about any other quarterback that's here? You plan for the what-ifs in this league.
Last one here from Cam, Manny out here, cut 11. All this to say that Shedeur got no first-team reps because Cam Newton does not believe Kevin Stefanski wants ShedeurSanders to succeed in Cleveland.
I do not think Kevin Stefanski wants ShedeurSanders to succeed in Cleveland. The reason being is, don't tell me what he said. Don't tell me what he's saying. I'm going off of actions. All right? Let's go off actions. The actions is, if I'm Shedeur or if I'm a ShedeurSanders fan, I would not want him to take the field because that's going to consistently be the display we're going to see.
Right. Just
Brock Purdy.
There's no talent on the team. Listen, Shedeur, like.
Wait, I don't understand the logic of the last point.
Okay,
he's saying, what is Cam saying about Stefanski? Why exactly does Stefanski not want Shedeur to succeed?
He's saying his actions. I think he's meaning not giving him any reps with the first team.
No, but why? Why would Stefanski have an interest in seeing ShedeurSanders be? I think there's got to be a reason behind that. I'm just not quite picking it up.
Maybe he doesn't think he's good. Like Kevin
he didn't want to draft him.
Yeah, he didn't want him. He doesn't think he's good. Like he thinks this is all a waste of time. Which I think is what I've heard a lot of the Shedeur. I hate even call them Shedeur fans. I think they're just football observers. But the people who are siding with Shedeur feel like he hasn't gotten a shake. That's the thing. They think that either Andrew Barry or Kevin Stefanski, someone in the Browns, did not want him, and that's why he was not given first-team reps the way maybe other backups usually get.
That makes sense. Because it's hard to figure out why would a coach not want his quarterback to succeed, because that also reflects on him.
But then you could say, see, I played him. Look what happened. He went out there, went 4 for 16, and threw a pick. Like
he wasn't ready.
Tried to tell you guys, he wasn't doing the work. He wasn't ready, and then look what happened.
Or he doesn't want to be the one who's tasked with developing ShedeurSanders if he doesn't think that he can be developed, right? Or if he thinks that there's flaws that Shedeur's not going to be able to overcome. But listen, then the front office and the coaching staff are clearly not aligned. I mean, we knew this the day that Joe Flacco got traded and Kevin Stefanski came out and said, wow, that was quick. They kind of mentioned, hey, maybe we might trade Joe, and then all of a sudden he's on a flight to Cincinnati.
But I don't think it's so cut and dry that Stefanski doesn't want Shedeur to look good, because I think he could have won that game. I'm sure Stefanski wanted him to look good on Sunday. I'm sure he had no interest in any of that because they were about to beat the Ravens. That would have been a huge – Stefanski needs W's to keep his job or get another job. I don't think in that moment. But did you guys see the counter? Did anyone follow the Justin Herbert thing that basically, one of Justin Herbert's Chargers teammates came out. Justin Herbert never had a first-team rep in his life. And then Tyrod Taylor got stabbed 2 hours before the game in his chest. And he went out and completed 80% of his passes and threw 3 touchdowns. So I don't know.
I don't even believe that. How is Justin Herbert was a top 10 pick and never got a first-team rep?
That's what his fullback, Brendan Fayco, said. Because I think some coaches don't give first-team reps to rookies or something. I I have no idea. But
like-
That seems impossible.
It was
I'm
like,
not saying it's
this
wrong,
guy
I'm
got
just saying it
drafted to
seems
save
impossible.
everyone's ass, and we're not going to
Also,
give him a.
Tyrod Taylor's a walking injury. He didn't pull up lame at any point in training camp, or something happened to him where he said, "Oh, I got to sit out for a few plays." I mean,
That's funny. I believe
this
I
is-
believe you read it. I believe that, but it's just funny. It's
You guys know more
silly.
than Braden Fajeko?
No, we don't. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
We're just
stunned.
shocked. We're just stunned. by
I
that.
wonder. I mean, Cam said that. I'm not sure that the first team works like that with all the teams, where the backup comes in with the first team, because you only have so much time with the first team out there. I don't know that that's a fact. That, like, for example, the Eagles are practicing week. It's not like they're going to throw Tanner McKee in with AJ Brown.
I've been so fascinated by this because I don't know. I feel like I love this person in terms of work they do, but I do feel like they've kind of become the new Dove Kleiman, where like Josina Anderson has been kind of doing this weird thing with Shedeur posts on social media, but she was the first person that mentioned, the guy who didn't have any first team reps is out there struggling. And most people thought it was, again, Josina is just like defending Shedeur blindly. But then now other people are coming out who actually play football or are involved in the game and saying, hey, actually, it is weird that he didn't get any first team reps at all. So I don't know if it's a mixed bag, bro.
No, I
don't
think
know
the
if-
guys on the offensive line were saying that. We had never heard his cadence before. I thought it was coming from inside the building.
No, this was during the game she posted
during
this.
the game.
She posted
All
this
right.
during the game. That's why I was like, well, I was clearly she's just jumping out the gun. But people knew about this, and I guess it is a thing where maybe some teams don't put their quarterbacks at all.
Well, I think training camp would have been the time to give him a first team rep, but he was the fourth string quarterback because they had Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett there. So this probably goes back to camp a little bit too.
And remember how crazy that was
hated
that Pickett got hurt and Shedeur still never got any first team reps.
Yeah, so but then again, would a fifth round pick always get first team? Maybe, but the fourth stringer doesn't probably get a ton of first team reps normally.
Remember when they brought in Snoop Huntley? I mean, they kept bringing in quarterback after quarterback.
Yeah, I mean-
Really fast, though. So it was not just the poor performance on the field and the tough, rushed debut of ShedeurSanders on Sunday Pearl that led to him having a terrible day. According to multiple outlets, ShedeurSanders also had his home broken into while he was playing during the game. This is just another example of these athletes who get their houses burglarized because everyone knows they're not home.
Yep, seems like
And-
an Ohio thing now. Because Burrow
Seriously.
famously got hit too.
And Midwest, because I think Kelsey also got hit
Yeah.
at one point.
No, that's not good.
It's been all over the place.
And I thought that thing was over because remember they arrested the
Yeah.
guys and they had to post in the pictures with all the memorabilia. They looked like they were idiots anyway, but they were really dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if this is a new cell of guys that are breaking into homes. I hope not. This is terrible.
Or just copycats or
Maybe,
something like
yeah.
that. And you find out where a guy lives and they
I mean,
have
it
no
makes-
idea what they took at this point and no suspects.
I mean, it makes sense. It's obviously a very obvious target, and it's one of the few people is going to be out of town. You could read the schedule.
I know. I remember talking when I used to work with Bart Scott, and he was always very concerned about that because he was worried about his family being home, and everyone knows that he's in Miami for 2 days or he's, has to go out to, L.A.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Sorry, that game was in Cleveland, but he knew he wouldn't be home.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know. Yeah, I guess you just hope these guys have some serious security systems so that at least you can identify
Yeah,
them.
or maybe get guards if you have enough. Because there are only 9 games. Hey, Manny, what is the stadium in Cleveland off the top of your head?
First Bank Stadium.
No, dude. What is going on? Manny's our stadium savant. You really don't know the name of the Cleveland Stadium?
Is it it's Huntington Bank?
Yes.
I knew it was a bank. I had
There you
bank
go.
in there. We just had to workshop it.
Did anyone else know that? I had no idea.
Manny, can we do something else with you? Like, can you memorize like the periodic table of elements or
Hell
something?
no, I tried that in the 11th grade. It did not work out for me. Did not do well on that Regents.
Because I feel like the stadium thing like is not
Getting me anywhere?
kinda.
Well, you
I
know,
like
I
it.
got you here,
periodic table wouldn't be getting me anything either. So,
but you don't know that.
what's the first element? Is
Hydrogen,
it argon?
right?
Oh, hydrogen. Yeah, you see, I'm already out.
I was terrible in chemistry, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Your husband and I will not be working.
First,
in the
like
same
you mean in
field.
the upper corner? Is that what you mean by
Upper
first?
left?
Upper left, I think.
Upper left?
Yeah, upper left.
Is
Yeah.
oxygen number 2?
Oh, I don't think it is. I think oxygen's like 7 or something.
You're drowning.
I don't even
Helium,
remember.
I think, right?
H2O.
No, I was wrong. It's no, I was right. Helium.
nobody knows what the hell is
I'm
happening.
Good. Hey,
Well, nobody
2 in a
also
row.
knows what the stadium is in Barcelona or
You
wherever,
can't know.
Madrid.
Come on. The Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. You're naming legendary stadiums right now, miss.
Sorry. Like nobody knows the football stadium in Green Bay. No, I just don't know where it's getting you.
Well, yeah, that's what my parents say, too. That's what my parents have been saying since I was about 16, 17 years old, but I digress.
I'm thinking maybe we can just replace all the stadium knowledge with something useful. Like maybe we can get you into like stock trading or something.
That's way too much work. With stock trading, I have the M&P 500 every Monday.
True. By the way,
Just as good.
one thing I do know, and I did say, K is potassium, which is confusing.
That. I know.
Very
Always
confusing.
Tough.
What is that, the 16th element?
19? Yeah, 19.
Oh, look at you, EJ. You should have been a chemist.
No, this one I'm reading, but the first two, hydrogen, helium, I knew.
My favorite's NA.
Not available.
Salt. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, well, got that. Cowboys, are they trending in the right direction on the field from last night? And the Raiders, who's got to go? Because this thing's a mess. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Manny's on an old music kick. I love it. Is that Let's Groove by Philip Bailey and Earth, Wind & Fire?
Yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Old music, new to Manny, though.
Oh, yeah. I found out about this about 2 weeks ago.
No. But you're a hip-hop fan, right?
Oh, I indulge in the hip-hop. More
yeah,
the Spanish
that's basically all the
nowadays.
70s music has
Oh,
been repurposed.
Yeah, I mean, all the sample music. I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then I find out it's from a song from 1973. And it's like, all right, well, let's take a listen to the original. Let's take a listen to
Kanye's
Grandpa.
brilliance is owning a bunch of Curtis Mayfield CDs. Whatever. I'm not even going to get into that. We had a great discussion at the break. Greg Olson's middle school team, somebody has to have I don't know if you ever heard the broadcaster talk about his middle school team. Isn't there some other pro involved in it too? Or
Yeah, Luke Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly, yes.
And
They
I
basically
think
have like an
Jonathan
offensive
Stewart.
coordinator for a 7th grade team.
I think all three of them are part of it. And I'll tell you what, it does not sound fun.
Domination.
I mean, it sounds great if you're probably going to play at Miami or Notre Dame or wherever Greg Olson played at both. I just don't know if... the way but he's also unapologetic about it, right?
Yeah.
Greg Olson, the broadcaster, is talking about how he runs a middle school program, and it's like, Bogues, you do travel baseball, right?
Greg Olson, the Miami rapper?
Yeah. Oh God. And so let's not go down that hole.
That guy is coaching children?
Listen, everyone's got something in their past, Manny. We grew up in a time before cell phone cameras. You never thought that stuff was getting out. But anyway, you do youth sports coaching. Greg Olson is very open about it. Like, listen, if you don't want to be serious, we're not the program for you. It doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, and that's all you can ask for is you want to know what you're signing up for and what you're paying for, and that's up to you as a parent and your kid what you want to get. But yeah, you don't want to sign up for like happy-go-lucky flag football, and out comes Greg Olson with
Kuechly.
whistles and Jonathan Stewart screaming at your kids. No thanks.
Then, there's an 8th grader. I read the story in the Washington Post who has NIL deals up the wazoo already.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, so
Baby
you could be elite. And basketball, I think like the real AAU stuff starts around then. So yeah, I guess it's okay to be intense. Meanwhile, my daughter is in Frozen Junior, which Maggie get to see this weekend.
Honestly, athletic performance though, the way that she was fighting through the laryngitis.
There's a bunch of 4 and 5-year-olds in the cast, so it's not exactly the same intensity level.
Let's go to Adrian, who's in Maryland, wants to talk about the Cowboys. Asked if on the field things look to be trending up. Adrian, I think so. What about you?
Yeah, I think so. They're trending up, and all these moves are made for next year and the year after. You got to figure, we got Pickens. If we can't re-sign him, we actually get a 3rd-rounder back for him. We can also tag him. So nobody's talking about that. Also, the Green Bay, the trade we made to the Jets, that's the 2nd round in 2026. So looking right now, if Green Bay doesn't make the playoffs, the Cowboys could have two top 20 picks next year's draft. So that's what I'm thinking. As far as the Raiders, Chip Kelly's got to go. They gave Gentry 7 carries and he got 6 yards, or 6 yards for 7 carries. That's what it was, flip-flop somewhere around there. But like I said, the Dallas, these moves are for next year. They're not for this year. Everybody in the media and everybody else wants, Dallas can make a move. No, I think they're trending for next year.
Adrian, if they franchise tag George Pickens, the earth will spin off its axis. There'll be so much drama around that. Are you kidding me? You think he's going to be okay getting franchise tagged?
Well, I'm not saying he's going to be okay with it, but they can franchise him and then try to work out a deal.
Okay, and that always works with Jerry.
Right. But the thing you saying him making $43 million, he's not gonna get that.
Yeah.
He's gonna get what T Higgins got. See, nobody says anything about Cincinnati and their two receivers making what, $60 million a year.
No, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah,
we
Maggie
talk about how terrible
Maggie doesn't
idea
like
was.
that combo.
I don't like it. Adrian, thank you for the
Yeah,
phone call. Just to
good to
put
hear
some
from you.
numbers behind that. $28.7 million average annual for T. Higgins, but it was a 4-year, $115 million deal. And then obviously his teammate Jamar Chase, $161 over 4 years, averaging $40 million a year. And by the way, Bogusch, I don't know if you're mentioning this in your update that you're about to do. Jamar Chase will not be playing against the Patriots this weekend. He got suspended because he spit on Jalen Ramsey. We all saw it, even though he denied it. It's a bad way to build a football team. You want to be the Bengals right now?
I mean,
Defense
honestly,
stinks.
I think George Pickens is more valuable than T. Higgins right now. Do you see the way he was cutting through the Raiders defense? We'll see how he does against a much better defense with the Eagles, but he's already up at 908 yards on the season. He's going to have a big case, and his agent, David Mulugheta, obviously knows how to work the Cowboys or get something out of this. It's going to be a mess. I'm half joking about this. It's going to be a really challenging time to re-sign George Pickens.
Bogues, what do you got, sir?
Here come your headlines, sponsored by Skechers. Watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December 4th, 5th, and 7th on ESPN and ABC.
I love shoes.
Apparently, adding Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson has created the greatest run defense in NFL history in Dallas. The Raiders so afraid of that brick wall, they only ran the ball 4 times in the first half, while Geno Smith dropped back to pass 32 times on Monday Night Football. WTF, Pete Carroll.
I knew what was happening, and Chip and I knew what was going on, but we were trying to stay with it and to see if we could continue to get the big plays, which we were getting. And then we just stalled in the red zone.
Yeah, they did kick 2 first-quarter field goals, then allowed 3 second-quarter touchdown passes to trail 24-9 in intermission. They lost 33-16, dropping to 2-8. Ugh. Dak Prescott adding a 4th TD throw for his 41st career game of 3+. And then back to that D. Williams, a sack and a half in his debut.
The guys around me, man, is playing unbelievable. It helped me. All I just kind of needed to do is just do my job, and it was that, man. But having a great group of guys around me make it easy for me. Listen, thank you.
The Cowboys get win number 4, but they've got the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Lions in their next 3 games.
That sounds challenging.
Yeah, speaking of Philly, Lane Johnson said to be dealing with a Liz Frank injury. He is out at least 4 to 6 weeks. The Packers appear to have avoided a major injury for Josh Jacobs. No structural damage in the running back's knee after getting hurt during Sunday's win at the Giants. He is week to week. Virginia Tech pouncing on James Franklin to try and revive the program. The former Penn State head coach becomes the biggest name to lead the Hokies since Frank Beamer, and he takes over a program that's getting an influx of money from the state to improve operations. Franklin's buyout from Penn State reportedly dropping from $49 to $9 million because of this. As you guys have been discussing, we've got this Ole Miss ultimatum to Lane Kiffin, maybe flirting with LSU and Florida, and the Rebs want to know what their head coach is doing as soon as possible.
So interesting here on Kiffin, right? So his family went to go visit Gainesville and Baton Rouge, not him.
Right.
So he's sending like
Scouts.
proxies out. Advanced scouting of Gainesville and Baton Rouge.
Can his daughter just go? Isn't she dating what's his name on LSU?
Kid
Jakes.
Yeah. He's hurt though, right?
Right, but he still lives there. Like, can't she scope things out while she's down there? Send her mom pics of real estate?
I don't know. The kid, who has the power in the situation? Is it the kids have the power, the wife, the ex-wife? No, I mean, no, listen, you're not in a family yet, man. You don't understand. Bogues, I have no power in my house.
It's negative.
Maggie, I don't know who has the power in your house.
Trick question.
Depends who you ask.
I mean, we have no power on this show. When I got dragged down the hall yesterday, they asked, Gio was somehow he asked Maggie, and Boomer said, why not Perloff? And I said, why would you ask him?
Yeah.
He has no say in this.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I didn't have a say in it.
I mean, know. But Greg did come to you
but I don't know
to ask
why.
Because you're in charge of Maggie and Perloff.
Okay, Mike. All right, Maggie never told me you weren't coming in, by the way.
I know. And today you're like, what happened?
It's 6:41. I go, Hey, wasn't Bogue supposed to be in that last segment? And Maggie goes, yeah, he's filling in for whatever. Anyway.
But I didn't know that Manny was going to fill in until we got a text from Pilati.
Yeah. Well, that's when it all happened.
And I did a damn good job.
You did a great job, Manny.
All right, we get it, guys.
I got the drop machine.
Enough.
Second time in 2 weeks.
I know. EJ's gotten accustomed to a certain lifestyle over there with the drops.
It's fun. See, it's addicting, Manny.
Speaking
Punchy Utah Clapper.
I was going to save the city. By the way, do you want to get into Abdul Carter? Were you going to do that as an update?
I wasn't because you guys had it on your rundown, so I did not want to take it from you.
So it seems like competing stories here from The Athletic and Abdul Carter himself, Pearl. I'm sure you saw this. One was that Abdul Carter was asleep in the building, fell asleep in the building, but missed a meeting.
Nobody was like, hey, Abdul, let's go, buddy.
Somebody wake his ass
Hey,
up.
Abdul.
So he said that he was getting treatment, and I'm wondering if maybe he was getting a massage and fell asleep. Has that ever happened to somebody?
Hey, massage therapist. Hey, Abdul, let's go.
What do you think that person's going to do? Wake up Abdul Carter?
A
No
little
way.
bit, yeah, bro. Let's go. Walk through. Hey, come on, buddy. Let's go.
Who do you think has the power in that dynamic? The massage therapist or Abdul Carter?
Well, I would think
Who
the
has to know
massage
whose
therapist would look
schedule?
at his or her watch and say, "Oh, wait, it's time for the walkthrough."
How do they
hey,
know
Abdul.
when the linebacker meeting is?
But he also said recovery, which I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did
That
say
feels
recovery.
very vague.
Well, it's vague.
Because it makes it sound like, yeah, maybe he was getting some kind of treatment, which then implies that maybe some giant employee was also part of the reason why he missed this meeting. But recovery could be, all right, we've done your massage or whatever, now go relax.
Oh, you're in the sauna.
Yeah, and then he's just chilling in there, not thinking about the
Yeah, fell
time.
asleep.
I feel like I think there's more to this story than he's letting on.
Well, I mean, he also didn't say that he wasn't late or missed it. He just said he was doing something different while missing the meeting. And he's been missing meetings or being late to stuff all season long.
Yeah, well, that was the other part, is that
Yeah.
Brian Daboll apparently looked the other way on many missed meetings.
But now I feel like the whole league's missing meetings. Your guy Keon Coleman missed a meeting, right? He
Yeah,
got
they
suspended.
benched him for the
Yeah.
whole game.
Yeah, I think that Pickens and
Lamb
probably
They
missed a
must have.
meeting. It's
They
the
missed
time of
something,
year.
according to Brian Schottenheimer. He didn't say what, but
It's getting late in the season. Guys are starting to slack. Like
Well, I just-
yesterday's situation here.
Get
Honestly.
late in the year. I know we're careening towards Thanksgiving. But I think, Vegas is tough because no clocks. Specifically in any of the casinos.
yeah, but that doesn't matter now.
They don't have a Rolex on. They don't have an Apple Watch on.
Maybe they didn't wind it. I don't know. I don't wear a fancy watch.
I don't either. Look, Apple Watch. Boom, 8:40 Eastern.
I don't know, Manny. I'm just saying, you get in those casinos, all of a sudden you can't find your way out. Anyone ever been in that situation before where you have no
but I know-
idea where the
but
exit
I know
is?
they're spending money, and I guarantee you they're doing Apple Pay.
Guys, why is Maggie searching for acceptance here? Have you slept through meetings and you get lost in casinos? Like anybody done this? Anybody done that too?
No, I just remember that when we were in Vegas for the Super Bowl last time, it is just confusing to get out of the casino.
Couldn't get Maggie off the slots. That's what happened in Vegas.
Yeah. Come on, Maggie. We got
The show is starting now.
That's why
I have 9 nickels left in my cup. Yeah.
It's playing the
Mama
playing
needs
the
some new
penny
shoes.
slots.
Maggie, just hit and let's go.
EJ and I watched a woman win $10,000.
That was crazy.
Go
And
walk
then,
into the
just
casino.
every Shield agent basically came out of nowhere.
It's
I was
crazy.
like, whoa, where did these guys come from? I guess if you win that kind of money, they make sure to secure whatever person that is.
Wow.
I didn't even know there were any cops on the floor.
It was crazy. Because Maggie was like, kind of like talking to the women. So I don't know. I just watched it just suits, people in yellow shirts just coming out of everywhere. I'm like, whoa, where did all these people come from?
Yep.
By the way, good thing for the Giants, Abdul Carter is totally unnecessary because you already have a bunch of good pass rushers.
Yeah,
And
that's
him to-
great. What has that yielded? I mean,
I'm just
what
laughing
he
at the
do?
fact that you picked him at number 3 for no apparent reason.
Well, who are you going to
Best
draft?
available.
apparent
Best
reason.
What's the point of him there? You're Brian Burns. You should be drafting about 7 other positions. You're the Giants.
And that's where we're going to have to leave it. Thank you,
Dang.
folks. And
The
scene.
most expensive defensive line in the entire NFL.
That's the only thing they do well.
Not really.
No, they do that. He just is not a part of it.
Coming up,
I hate football.
we have one big question to ask about one of the biggest stars in the NFL. And also, are things getting a little weird in one front office / locker room? Guys, everything's odd. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining.
Perloff show is crackling every morning light. Jesus and Tootie one fights tunes and faithful like a porch light in the night. He is sipping on his coffee while the callers ramble on. But the crew is missing someone and the vibe feels kinda wrong. Where is Peter Bellotti when the rooster starts to crow? Clock strikes 7 and he still does not show. Maggie keeps it steady and Perloff keeps the peace, but Bellotti disappeared like he moved to Tennessee. And Jesus on 21.9 shouts from his screen, this show still sings like a country dream. Now Andrew Perloff swears he never is driving to San Antonio. No map, no GPS, no reason he would go. Says he's planted in the studio like an oak in Texas soil. But the rumor mill keeps spinning and the fans keep on their tour. Where is Peter Bellotti when the rooster starts to crow?
Okay, so to the Cowboys and the Raiders in just a moment. Final score last night was 33-16. Cowboys put a whooping on the Raiders. But quickly, you know how in baseball there's that stat WAR, wins above replacement, and we have it at some time. And you can have MVP races are decided by this. It's a major stat. I wish we had this in football. Because I think that if we had a rating, WAR, wins above replacement in football, I think that you would look at Josh Allen and say he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, he's the MVP, so that would make sense.
Well, but he's the MVP, but the MVP is kind of BS a little for football because it's only quarterbacks. You never account, like a running back, what would you have to do for Saquon Barkley? Like, he had this all-time season last year, didn't even sniff the MVP, right? You could have made the case Lamar should have won it last year. There's a narrative that goes along with the MVP award. I'm talking about pure numbers, raw data.
But
and listen,
they have DVOA, which is the same thing.
For individual players?
Yeah, every player gets a DVOA, which is similar.
So who's the highest DVOA in the league right now?
I'm sure it's probably Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. I'll double check.
I've seen that for teams, for sure, for offenses and defenses.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're I thought there was an individual. But here's the thing about football is such a team sport that WAR would not really work because if the quarterback's awesome, that means that the defense has to account for the pass game, which makes the running back's job easier. Then the quarterback just hands it off to the running back, and the running back gets all the yards. It all works together. Because defenses, if you are going to work on stopping Josh Allen, then that frees up somebody else. And so the WAR is very confusing.
Yeah, but I just think if you put any other quarterback on the team, and I'm saying this specifically with Buffalo, if you put any other quarterback there, they're like a 5-win team. The defense is one of the lowest rated, but hold on. At least the Ravens defense has finished the season as one of the highest rated and one of the best at the end of the years. They may have started poorly, but then they pick it up. It seems like they move Kyle Hamilton 5 feet to the left, and all of a sudden they're the best defense in the NFL. I don't know what goes on there, but you look at just pure, like the receiving core. You look at, there's a stat, Mike Sando from The Athletic does something like how teams let down their quarterbacks, and there's metrics for, I think he calls it, betrayal, the betrayal index. And he has all these numbers about how a team betrays their quarterback. And actually, Dak Prescott used to be the one betrayed quite often. And now it's Josh Allen as number one. And listen, he makes bad plays. I'm not saying he's a perfect quarterback, but I think you can make the case that he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I would say Mahomes.
Okay, but see, Mahomes might be the best winner, right?
But I think he's also just as good a player as Josh Allen.
Well, I mean,
he's pretty good.
He also has way better weapons. He's got guys he may be playing with the greatest tight end of all time, if you ask certain people.
Right. But
he also may have one of the greatest coaches of all time, and the person who's probably going to finish with the most wins as a coach of all time.
I don't know. I saw him once on 3rd and 18 throw a left-handed pass for 16 yards.
Well, Josh Allen can do that too.
But it's hard to tell. That's back to my team point. Like, are the weapons good because Patrick Mahomes is throwing the ball, or are the weapons good on their own right? That's the kind of thing. Like, I think Josh Allen has his strengths and weaknesses too. Great quarterbacks make all the weapons around them look great. Does Josh Allen always do that? Maybe not as much as other quarterbacks. That's why I think it's a more complicated team argument. And honestly, is Josh Allen as precise a offense runner as some of the other quarterbacks? No. So I think if I was a wide receiver, I probably would rather be on some other system than Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen also is going to take away your touchdowns. He's going to run into the end zone.
So you think you'd rather be Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's more of a timing offense?
Oh, yeah. If I was a wide receiver, I would want to go with Jared
Diggs.
Goff and Ben Johnson, yes. Stephon was good. He had big numbers, but generally, I think that Josh runs a different kind of offense because he carries the ball so much, a lot like Lamar. So, yes, his DVOA or his WARs can be super high, but there's a cost for that. Like, you're not running the offense the way the coach might want. Like, if you had a real hardcore offensive coordinator, like a Bill Walsh type, he'd be like, Josh, you got to do this. And Josh never does what he's supposed to do, right? Does he?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, I think sometimes he has to improvise because the weapons around him are so blah.
Really? I'm not sure he'd be comfortable in a West Coast offense.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476, just something that we start thinking about quickly. Brad's in Sacramento. Brad, we were talking about John Gruden earlier and how he might be in the coaching carousel this time around. Like, you're going to hear his name come up, but I don't think John Gruden's a very good coach.
I thought he was a very good coach the first go around with the Raiders. I mean, he got gypped up there in that game against Brady. Remember that game, that playoff game?
Yeah, the tough
He's a really good. I forgot all about that though. I've been waiting for so long. I wanted to talk about Kiffin. What about him going to the Giants? Is that crazy?
You know, Brad, I'm glad you got that in. New York Giants, Lane Kiffin. Feels like the ship has sailed on that.
There's no energy around that right now.
No, I don't think the Giants, they're going to wait till the end of the year, obviously, to do a full search. Meanwhile, Lane Kiffin, they got private jets flying between LSU, Florida, and Oxford.
He's a Southern guy. He's not a Northeast guy.
Well, I think he's an anywhere guy, but I don't think he's an NFL guy again.
A money guy.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Shotgun for Prescott. There's the snap. Left tackle block. Line drive. End zone caught. Touchdown. A yard deep. Jake Ferguson falling down in the middle of the end zone. A yard deep. And the Cowboys have gotten their second touchdown pass tonight.
Thank you to Kevin Harlan on Westwood 1, and Dallas would continue to pour it on. 33-16 was the final score. Never felt that close, though. The Cowboys with an easy victory over the Raiders. Looked easy, put it that way. George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb were great. Pickens had 9 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, 5 catches, 66 yards and a TD. You just heard the Jake Ferguson touchdown there, and there was another one to Flanoy. Really, this was exactly what you'd hope for if you're a Cowboy fan. You get an easy opponent whose will is kind of broken, obviously. The season has gone terribly for the Raiders. And you get a new-look defense with Quinnen Williams on the field, helping out Kenny Clark. Raiders barely tested the run defense for the Dallas, and despite obviously playing with heavy hearts after the loss of Marshawn Nealon, it's been terrible off the field for the Cowboys. But on the field, you can see the bones of what they could be next season.
Yeah, there's a tweet from Marcus Mosher, who's covered the Cowboys for a long time, said that's the best defensive tackle performance we've had by a Dallas player in 20 years. And I believe it because Quinnen Williams is awesome. He was I was watching early in the game. I'm like, it seems like Williams was a force on that play. And he was. All the numbers show that. He won 22% of his pass rushes, had a sack and a half, 7 pressures. So he was awesome. Again, the real test is this Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. Then you got the Chiefs and the Lions. Obviously, and you said it too, you have to take beating the Raiders with a grain of salt. The Raiders are 2-8. I'm very, very curious. I think the Cowboys, I'm a little more bullish on the Cowboys this season making a run than you, because the health seems to be coming together at the right time. I think they could even make a run to a winning record, possibly sneak into the playoffs.
Yes, I don't see that, and I'm not going to, if I'm a Cowboy fan, I'm not getting my hopes up for that. What I'm trying to do is just find the bright spots here where I can, because, listen, I know it was a mixed feeling when Micah Parsons got traded, but it's kind of been, like, pretty downhill as far as the defense is concerned. They're bottom of the league in every statistical category, and now you just want to see some signs of life, right? You want to see you can actually play a little complementary football. And again, the Raiders played right into their hands because Ashton Genty is this great talent, but they didn't even test, really, the Cowboys' defensive line when it comes to the run game. Philadelphia, though, so that's who the Cowboys play next week. And I know that they, Dak Prescott plays them well and has a winning record against Philadelphia in his career. But Pearl, that's such a step up in weight class. Like, to go from the Raiders defense to now the Eagles defense is like a Grand Canyon in between those two units. So I don't know if we overreact to last night, and I don't want to also overreact next week if they get the doors blown off them or if they score 5 points or 7 points, something like that. Because the Eagles defense might be the best unit right now, single unit in the NFL, period.
I don't know. I'm not sure I totally buy that. Honestly, I think the Cleveland Browns defense is probably right up there. But I'm half kidding. Okay. But
Cleveland, Houston, sure, there are the Rams, there are other good defenses, but the Eagles are probably playing the best right now on defense.
Dak has shredded good Eagles defenses in the past, even Super Bowl defenses. It's a divisional game, so it's a much different dynamic. honestly, the Eagles defense played great, but the competition is played in their hands. There's just no way Jared Goff was going to get his stuff together last week in a windy.
You went to Lambeau and won. That's quality.
He looked way out of rhythm. Then they beat the Packers 10-7. That obviously means nothing because the Packers can't score on anybody. And then remember, this is a team, the Eagles defense, that got torched by the Giants. They lost 34-17. So there's something, there's definitely something that can be had.
That was before the Jalen Phillips trade.
I'd be shocked. If the Eagles hold the Cowboys under 10, then, man, I'm totally wrong. I think Dak with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb and Javonte Williams running like this, I think it's a different level of challenge for the Eagles. I think this is going to be a much more offensive game than the Eagles have been in a long time.
Yeah, but they just stopped a Detroit team that has Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jahmyr Gibbs, who's better than every running back in the league.
This game's indoors. It's a team that knows the Eagles defense like the back of their hand. I think it's a totally different situation. I think this scoring goes way up in this game. I don't think the Cowboys can really stop the Eagles either. Even with Quentin Williams, I think the Eagles, if they ever want to turn their offense on, could do some things. So I expect a really good game. Week 1, I know Jalen Carter spit and got kicked out, but week 1, the Cowboys just destroyed the Eagles through 3 quarters offensively, and they couldn't stop the Eagles at all. So maybe, the Eagles are coming off 10-7 and 16-9. If they hold the Cowboys to single digits, I will do some kind of punishment.
Shave an eyebrow.
Nah, no, that's the old Dan. Dan's like, hey, what should we do? Shave an eyebrow. No one wants to shave an eyebrow. But
all right, shave both of them then.
Even it out.
Like Pink Floyd. No, I'd really be shocked if they could slow down that offense to this level. And I'd be shocked if the Cowboys could look like they did on defense last night against the Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions. That's another thing. Don't forget, this Cowboys defense was not tested either.
How about a tattoo of Manny on your
I'll do a head
calf?
Mustache and everything.
I'll do a head of Manny for sure.
Like my Hall of Fame bust?
Yeah, something I can wash off. You have a high level henna artist?
Oh, henna tattoo. I see what you mean.
No, I need ink. I want something what
henna
I have.
Ink.
No, like for real, permanent
ink.
bro.
Oh.
Permanent stuff.
I mean, the henna henna lasts for
mustache.
what? 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's
like
about 2 weeks. I've had a henna tattoo.
Yeah. We'd have to get the artist here. All right. I mean, that could be something.
You could carry me around forever, Pearl.
That'd be cool if somebody could draw in the henna ink of Manny's face. That'd be a great 2 weeks. What a good talking point at a Christmas party. Hey, who's that dude on your thigh? Oh, that's Manny.
And why are you wearing short shorts?
I know exactly.
In the middle
it's not
of December.
Halloween.
I would have a picture of Manny and the Cincinnati football stadium, which is called. Oh no.
Oh, that's an easy one, I think.
First Bank Stadium.
It's an easy one. I have no idea.
It's Paycor, isn't it?
It's not Paul Brown Stadium anymore?
No.
All right, well,
that's
clearly
definitely not
none of
that
us know.
anymore.
But, Manny, this is your lane.
Damn
Okay. Meanwhile, the Raiders, someone's got to go. Listen, 2-8. You were acting in the offseason like you were a team that was going for it because you signed Geno Smith. You drafted Ashton Genty with the 6th overall pick. You've pivoted now at the trade deadline, sort of, because you traded Jacoby Myers, Pearl, but they didn't go full in and trade Max Crosby, which I would imagine would have gotten you a boatload. Now you got to think Crosby's going to be gone this offseason, and someone's got to go. Is it going to be Pete Carroll, who's 74, will be 75? Is it Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, who seems to be completely out of sync with this team or has never been able to put his stamp on this offense? Is it Geno Smith take a back seat to a younger quarterback? Is it the general manager, one and done? Everything's on the table for the Raiders as far as I'm concerned. That's how bad it's been.
Well, they're 2-8, so I would hope so. So they play Cleveland next, right? That's a big draft game. Big draft game. Now, I don't know. Shedeur is supposed to start, right? That's what Mary Kay Cabot said. I don't know if ShedeurSanders can beat the Raiders, so that means the Raiders will get a 3rd win. They're not looking at a top quarterback pick. We went over it earlier in the show. I don't know they're going to be able to draft that guy, Maggie. So free agency, keep Geno. I'm not sure exactly what the easy answer is.
Do you trade for Mac Jones? You can't do that again. You just traded a 3rd-round pick for Geno and then gave him a 2-year contract. So right now, the Raiders would be picking 6th in the draft. Cleveland picks 3rd. But if you fall down to 3 wins, yeah, you're going to be picking in like the 11, 12, 13 range.
Well, we'll say maybe some other teams win some games. I don't think Tom Brady's bringing Mac Jones for one. I don't know what their relationship was like in New England, but that'd be kind of weird.
Well, he replaced him. They never overlapped.
Yeah,
Or
I
he
know.
replaced Cam Newton, technically.
I just don't think Tom Brady. Would that be weird for Tom Brady to sign Mac Jones? I don't know why.
No, I think Brady still says he has a good relationship with Belichick, right? So,
Oh,
allegedly.
Come on.
And now they don't have to work together anymore. They love each other.
So it's a conundrum. The problem with the Raiders is their roster needs so much help. Now, you would trade Max Crosby and get at least one first-round pick or a second-round pick.
I think you get a first and a second.
I just think that even that's not enough. We might as well keep Max Crosby and have one super cool player on your team because you need a total rebuild. You're right. You said earlier, Pete Carroll was the wrong decision here. They need to go with a young coach, a young roster, and rebuild from the ground up. Just rip everything that was there except for Brock Bowers and Max Crosby down. And I guess you have to have.
You're there, Pearl. It's ripped. There's nothing else to rip.
Well, they have Pete Carroll still there. I'm just saying, get whatever this win now idea they had, just get rid of it.
You know how I feel like this happens more in college than it does in the pros, although maybe it happens in the pros. We're just not as aware of it. Where you have like a coach and then a coach in waiting, like in college basketball or in college football.
Like Will Muschamp in Florida was supposed to be, right?
Or like Utah, they've already announced like who the successor is going to be.
Yep.
I feel like we need that for the Raiders. Like it's got to be Pete Carroll next year, but they're grooming so-and-so. Now you can't do that. The Rooney Rule, other things, depending on who it is. There's hiring formalities that you have to go through, but I feel like that's what the Raiders need. They need Pete Carroll to groom the next guy or something.
I think you need as clean a break as humanly possible. You need to acknowledge that we stink. We need to start from totally ground zero and build a team from the bottom up. I would not. That's exactly. I wouldn't have Pete Carroll there anymore. I would basically get rid of everybody except those three players. I don't know.
Who is the person to do this? Because they've tried every which way. They brought Gruden back. They've had Antonio Pierce, who was the player's choice. They had Josh McDaniels. They gave him another shot. He flamed out. Now it's Pete Carroll. Like the Raiders have tried this every which way, and it's never worked. Who's like the magic coach who's going to take this and turn it around?
Well, they're going to want. It's going to sound dumb. They're going to want it. They're Sean McVay, right? The Rams hired Sean McVay was 32 or something. Obviously, Spytek comes from Tampa Bay, and their OC, Josh Grizzard, is supposed to they're going to get a young OC who's 36 years old.
But can he be a head coach? Like,
clearly... we'll find out, right? They're not going to know. They're not going to take an I don't want a retread. I want somebody young who's going to build something fresh, and I definitely want an offensive coordinator.
I know, but how do you know you're not hiring the next Brian Callahan? How do you know you're not hiring the next guy, Brian Daboll? These guys flame out. See, like, to me, if I were the Raiders... I think it's more important to have a culture setter, good personality guy than it is to have the genius X's and O guy.
Yeah.
I'm really serious. Somebody's got to be strong enough of a personality to get the Mark Davis funk off of this franchise.
But why would that guy be available? Vrabel was a rare occurrence.
Trade for him then. We were talking about the Giants. I said trade John Harbaugh, trade for somebody, Mike Tomlin. Maybe Mike Tomlin is the guy who could finally turn this team around.
They had Pete Carroll. If you go from Pete Carroll to Mike Tomlin or to...
Tomlin's 20 years younger.
I honestly, do you have to trade for him? Doesn't Pittsburgh aren't they done with Tomlin? The town, at least?
I will only believe that when I see it. The guy's been there for 20 years, basically.
If you trade a first-round pick...
2 second rounds, I don't know. It's not
if you trade a first-round pick, oh, man... I mean, obviously, I think a better path is the offensive coordinator. Look at Shane Steichen in Indianapolis. I think the odds say if you overall look at the body of who's succeeding, a lot of OCs are succeeding.
Shane Steichen was on the hot seat until Daniel Jones, of all people, came in and saved his rump.
Shane Steichen had Gardner Minshew at 9-8. He was a really good coach the 2 years before. They, in fact, did a better job those 2 years with the talent level he had.
Anyone who's associated with the Anthony Richardson pick was filling the hot seat, as they absolutely rightfully should have. And Shane Steichen is lucky. He was like at the odds as one of the first coaches fired this year. And I look at Denver. Look what Denver did, all right? It wasn't maybe a perfect fit at first, but Sean Payton obviously is more than competent. And I know they just tried this with Pete Carroll, but like I think you need somebody who can really come in and stabilize things. I thought that Carroll was going to do it. I was dead wrong.
Stabilize, though, means that you have something there to stabilize. I think you got to rebuild and do everything different. I would try an unproven guy. Also, there aren't a lot of Sean Paytons out there. It's kind of hard to find that guy.
Well,
Harbaugh and Tomlin are actually under contract with other teams, so I'm not sure if the Ravens still want Harbaugh. They're clearly not going to give him away.
But think of how dumb it was. Didn't Jim Harbaugh want to coach the Raiders? Didn't he look at the Raiders?
Yeah, I can't remember. There was the Vikings for sure.
Yeah, he definitely wanted to coach the Vikings, and he showed up in at the facility. He thought he had the job already.
Remember, he showed up on
college
National Signing Day. I think he was in the Minnesota Vikings facility or something close like that.
He was like surprised that it was like a real interview, which is so Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, definitely. But now look at the teams that if he was interested in the Raiders, but I thought he was. Bears, I think was one.
He visited them as well, I believe.
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I thought so.
No.
Anyway, could have had him.
I mean, listen, if the name that got away was Ben Johnson, they should have just gave everything they possibly could have to get that guy. I don't remember exactly why it fell short.
I don't think he wanted to coach there.
Yeah, that's probably a good reason. But they should have paid him more.
Oh, just give him $100 million?
How
many former coaches are they going to pay?
He got $13 million a year, Ben Johnson did, to go to Chicago. I think he's one of the top 3 highest paid guys. They should have, I guess you couldn't, maybe Tom Brady couldn't have convinced them, but that's a guy you certainly would have wanted.
Well, think about it. They're probably still paying, are they still paying Josh McDaniels something? Possibly. Antonio Pierce, I'm sure, is still collecting a check from the Raiders. I get it as an owner if you're like, geez, how many coaches do I want to pay? But they need to get another one on the payroll.
Yeah, and also, too, the Eagles have had, I know you don't think much of them, but they've had success. They hired a 30-something-year-old offensive coach, Nick Sirianni. I think unless you could get a Sean Payton, which is great. If you can find Sean Payton, perfect. If not, take a major risk. I'm in the risk-taking mode on an unknown. I would take a guy who's never coached a day before in his life just to hope that he has got the magic sauce. You have to start over. Don't try and bring in somebody to stabilize that roster because there's nothing to stabilize.
How many games would Nick Sirianni win if Howie Roseman was not the GM?
2.
I think you could say if he was the Raiders coach, which was even more
Or
fun.
if he's the Raiders coach.
I don't know.
4.
There's a growing army of Sirianni fans in the Philadelphia media. We'll see.
They're not fickle.
I think Sirianni is doing something right.
I think he's right for that team and for that city. I don't know if he'd work everywhere else.
Isn't it awful?
Meanwhile, we've got more out of Philadelphia, by the way, of insubordination happening inside the building.
That's
and
a
this
big
one,
word.
shockingly, not A.J. Brown.
How about that? What a change.
Meanwhile, we're asking you, does it look like the arrow is pointing up for the Cowboys, or is this fool's gold because they happen to be playing the Raiders last night? And who's got to go from the Raiders? Who's packing? Chip Kelly at the end of the season? Geno Smith? Is it Pete Carroll? 888-710-4ISN. It's the Maggie and Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The Defensive Player of the Week is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Okay, I actually made a mental note this weekend. I was watching for Defensive Player of the Week.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here, but Green Bay Packers DB Evan Williams with that pick on Jameis Winston was awesome. That was a great, great play. And I thought, oh, he could be the Defensive Player of the Week. That thought crossed my mind. So I'm going to go with Evan Williams.
Evan Williams giving more people headaches. You could go with someone from the Eagles, but I don't know if you would do that because it would make Pearl too happy.
Interesting.
The guy, my guess is on our TV screen right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got to give it to someone on the Broncos.
Daquan McMillan, is that his name for the Broncos? 2 sacks and a pick?
That guy was talking so much ish. I love that guy.
But Benito jumped off sides at least 35 times. It was called 22 of those times. That was amazing.
Could you give it to Vic Fangio, or not Vic Fangio, Vance Joseph, who just has Patrick Mahomes' number, apparently?
I can't do the coach.
Isn't Evan Williams the name of a bourbon or a whiskey or something like that?
Now you got the joke.
That's my boy.
Oh, man.
That's why I said he's giving more people headaches.
Oh, I see.
All right, for this week's Defensive Player of the Week, we go to Canada.
Here's Bridges attacking. Bridges spinning back, fading. No, batted out, denied by Scotty. Oh, Scotty Barnes. Wait a minute.
Scotty Barnes is your Defensive Player of the Week for last night's performance where he had 2 blocks and a steal, but a very, very key block that sealed the win for the Raptors last night after Miles Bridges missed the jump shot. The Hornets had an easy layup right underneath the basket, and Barnes came out of nowhere and blocked the shot as time expired. So the Raptors get a close win in this one. I actually got to see the highlights from this game. Was a little weirded out by them calling Brandon Ingram Notorious B.I.3. That's a nickname they're going with in Canada, but
I love that. That's great.
But for this purpose, we're going to give Scotty Barnes some love. He's a great defensive player. He made a great play last night, so he is your defensive player of the week.
There you go. That will make up for the World Series loss.
Yeah, something like that. Beating the Charlotte Hornets on a Monday night.
You got EJ's defensive player of the week.
Exactly.
That's a big deal around here.
I mean, didn't the commissioner say it was just a piece of metal,
Yeah,
that World Series title?
Tin.
Yeah. Now you got an imaginary award. The EJ Defensive Player of the Week.
It's real
by
to
Navy
us.
Federal.
It's real.
If you're going to go recency bias, why didn't you pick Quentin Williams?
No, I wanted to pick somebody who made a great play in the balance. Like, you had a good guess with the Packers guy. I was like, I've been doing a lot of, you had this many blocks or this many steals, this many interceptions. Like,
yeah.
Who
Now
made
you're
a play
doing
that
turning point.
Yeah, who made a play that won the game? Barnes literally won the game last night.
Well,
You're
I
doing
feel
more
like
than just reading box scores is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like it's a Tuesday. You didn't want to go. You don't like to go back to Saturday or Sunday.
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah.
Also, he's not going to give it to Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams was a draft
just a
pick
jet.
for
Yeah.
his
Yeah, we gotta let
favorite
that-
team who's now going to flourish somewhere else.
Yeah, we got to let that marinate a little bit.
I don't know. We're mixed on this about whether you're happy for a player who kind of was on your team but didn't have any success if they go somewhere and have success. The shorthanded called this the Matthew Stafford.
Well, I mean, I think that Quentin Williams never really won, so you wouldn't support him. Tom Brady, a lot of New England fans rooted for him in Tampa Bay, which I got. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but it's
probably
rare
would've.
to get 6 Super Bowls out of a guy.
Yeah. So maybe that's a totally different case because you can understand that, right, Maggie?
Yeah, that I get, but I call it the Stafford. Stafford was your guy. He was really, he's a great quarterback, and then he goes to L.A. and wins the title, and I think Detroit fans had to convince themselves they were happy for him, which shouldn't be.
That's your ultimate fear with Josh Allen.
Totally ultimate fear. He's going to go get with Sean McVay at some point, and they're going to win a title, and the Bills are going to have to start over with the worst quarterback ever for 20 years.
That poor treadmill.
The fact that the Lions arguably got the better quarterback back. I mean, the fact that Jared Goff has been in the MVP rankings 2 years in a row is insane. Like, Lions fans would have taken that deal
Still can make the case
100
they won the
times
trade.
out of 100.
I think you can make the case they still won that trade.
They won that trade. Well, they didn't win the trade, but that reset the franchise. It was the best thing that ever happened to them.
At the end of the day, the Rams may have won a championship with Goff. We'll never know. The Lions were never going to be competitive with Stafford.
Yeah, no.
It
Was
never
that
gonna
pick?
happen.
But the Rams won a Super Bowl.
Right,
they
but
win.
They also almost won with Jared Goff. They could have won with Jared Goff. They
They didn't
didn't give
score a
up on him.
touchdown in that Super Bowl.
I know. But
And they needed the
Cook's foot was an inch off the end of the end
And
zone.
they needed one of the all-time bad calls ever to get them to the Super Bowl against the New Orleans Saints.
If it wasn't for that play, we wouldn't have 50 calls every week saying the NFL is rigged. Like that play,
You think that's the only one?
That play has been the play that every time, and I take calls every day. It's like, hey, I remember that Saints game. I'm like, I know. There's no explanation for why that call happened.
Well, I mean, listen, both teams definitely won that trade because EJ's right. The Stafford wasn't about to hoist a Lombardi in Detroit. That's
Or
the way
take it
that
to
was
the
going.
playoffs and do anything. They were terrible.
Yeah, the Lions got Goff, a third-round pick, and 2 first-round picks, and we'll find out who those are in a moment. Actually,
one of them was Jamison Williams in terms of the first rounder.
I was going to say, it wasn't Penei Sewell
and
because
Sam
that
Laporta, I think, was another
was the other one
of the
because
picks.
it was just the Bengals passing on Penei
Yeah.
Sewell to take Jamar Chase.
And I think gave them the option to somehow then use those picks to get either Campbell or Gibbs. I'm not sure which one.
yeah, no, they got Gibbs
Right.
with one of the
come
picks, Laporta.
They won that
Josh Pascal, Jamison Williams, who now is fantastic,
Yeah.
and Jared Goff.
They
but
have
no,
not-
I
they
think
did
both
not
teams
win the
won.
trade.
I think both teams won.
The
I mean,
Rams
you could-
won the Super Bowl and won the trade that day.
I don't know. This is maybe
Did the Lions look
EJ
close?
hottest take ever. I
Wait.
will always say the Lions won that trade.
Did the Lions now look closer to the Super Bowl or further away than the last 2 years?
Closer than who? The Rams?
No, just themselves. Do they look like they're getting closer to winning a Super Bowl, or are they regressing?
Definitely getting closer, right?
No,
I mean,
they
I
had the
think-
number 1 seed in the NFC last year. Now they
Right.
got really
Wait,
hurt.
you're talking about this year or?
Yeah, I'm talking about right
Yeah.
now. Does it look like if you had an arrow for the Lions, maybe it's mid now. Maybe it's not up or down. It's just like same.
I think
I'm
they're
higher on the Lions than most, so I think they're same. I don't think that arrow's going down.
Well, they're better this year because Hutchinson's there. Once
Yeah,
he went
their
down,
record's not
They're
better.
not in the playoffs right now.
And they're third place in their own division, looking up at the Bears and the Packers.
Well,
They'll have a
last
better
year,
chance, though.
Last year was impossible. Last year, because once Aiden Hutchinson and Ailey McNeil went down, their Super Bowl odds
Okay,
totally
but
tanked.
you also lost to a rookie quarterback at home.
But it was all because of the defense. The defense got hurt, as Perloff said. I don't think.
And they had one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, but at a certain point, you weren't going to be able to just outscore everybody. Like the Eagles, they were outscoring. Even if they played, if they somehow would have won, they would have given up 50 to the Eagles. The Eagles were outscoring everybody.
Didn't Goff play terribly in that game too?
Yeah.
Am I making that up?
And he got
Okay.
knocked out
Yeah.
of the game. They went to Teddy Bridgewater.
Got a feeling that the Lions are going to be fine this week. They play the Giants.
They do.
But I think the Lions are kind of they're a much different team now. Like their defense looked really good against the Eagles. A lot of people came out of that game and said, "Whoa, what was that little?" I mean, now if you pair that offense with that kind of defense that we saw, but I don't know if that's because the Eagles are doing something odd on offense. But Alex Anzalone looked like a man on fire.
Okay, but you guys are just doing this on paper. What actually happened when we played the football games is the Rams won a Super Bowl.
Right. I love a nuanced argument. I cannot believe the dismissal of a Super Bowl win.
No, it's a
They
win-win.
went to the
I'd
Super
say
Bowl
it's a
without
win.
him. It wasn't like
And they didn't win it.
Right, but it wasn't like they were
won a Super Bowl.
bogus. It was not. They were
Yeah,
not
he's
a
never won one. That's
non-playoff
because he
team.
doesn't
It
get
wasn't
it.
like it wasn't like they were like they were in purgatory. They were a very good team. They were a team that was right on the cusp.
I know, but he got there and immediately they won.
Right.
I think they sped up the process. I think Goff would have won if they would have just let him develop as a number one pick.
That's a big if.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that
He
either.
did in Detroit.
But
But
let
he
me ask
hasn't
this.
won.
If you were Detroit, would you do that trade again?
He never got to the Super Bowl. He's
Right.
not
No,
with
but he
Detroit.
got to the NFC Championship game. And
Okay.
if it
Not
wasn't
the
for a
Super Bowl.
boneheaded head coach, he would have probably won a Super Bowl.
Maybe.
But wait, if you guys were Detroit, would you have done that deal again?
Yeah, I think it's
100,000%.
Yeah, of course.
What you're saying is fair. They split the trade 50-50.
Yeah,
I
it's a
don't.
win-win.
The Rams won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Rams would obviously do it again.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a rare trade that everybody's happy with.
It's not a win-loss. I mean, the Lions definitely would do it again. The Rams 1,000% would
I just
do it
think
again.
you guys are penciling in a Lions Super Bowl here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're getting that.
And a Rams Super Bowl with Jared Goff, apparently. Like EJ saying they would have won with Goff, and I don't think that's a
Well,
big
let me ask
assumption
this.
too.
If the Lions don't trade Stafford, where are they as a team right now?
Well, the problem is they don't have all these other
Awful.
guys.
Yeah, they're awful.
No doubt it was not working with Matthew Stafford in Detroit. I'll give
Yeah.
you that. They also had a revolving door of coaches. They also had a revolving door of GMs. The ownership situation was weird.
Yeah.
They finally got that stabilized. So a lot of factors had to come in. But to say that you're sure Jared Goff's winning a Super Bowl in Detroit,
I said he could have. I kept saying he could. I keep saying over and over again.
Stafford
Yeah, I don't think
did.
EJ said sure. But
Stafford did, and neither of them have won MVPs, so it's not like he's also racked up all these great regular season awards.
I just think for a Lions team that has been so barren with, they've always had one or two stars at the same time. One Barry Sanders, one Calvin Johnson, maybe one Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford for a while. They never had a real team. This was their only chance to actually put together a real team to actually go for it. And they're doing it for a team that hasn't done it in 50 years.
I know. And the Rams did do well. Whatever. We're just going around and around. But if we did have Twitter that was down right
It
now,
might be back up again.
we could put the poll who won,
Yeah.
who won the Matthew Stafford Jared Goff trade. I'd be curious what the public thinks.
Yeah.
Let's get to sorry.
Yeah, I would say the Lions without Laporta last week. I never realized that he's in this trade. I'm looking. Sam Laporta is like one of Jameer Gibbs is my favorite player in the NFL. Sam Laporta is top 10. I love those guys. I'm voting Lions. Put it up. I voted Lions win that trade.
I don't know. I think Elon Musk is keeping Twitter down just to keep this poll out.
Do you know what Laporta translates to? The port. There you go. Please, not
Glad
any
you're
jokes.
here.
It's more or
Headlines
less
are
true,
sponsored.
Unfortunately, it's
by-
more or less true.
Headlines are sponsored by Skechers. Proudly watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December 4th, 5th, and 7th on ESPN and ABC. It must be nice to get a multi-million-dollar buyout and then quickly get another high-paying, high-profile job. Former Penn State head coach James Franklin moved to Virginia Tech last night. The Nittany Lions liken this because reportedly they now owe Franklin just $9 million instead of $49 million. Franklin arrives in Blacksburg with a career win percentage over 680. He has been to the CFP Final Four, but as we know, he was also 4-21 against the AP Top 10 while with Penn State. It wasn't just impressive, 33-16 for the Cowboys in Vegas on Monday Night Football. It was an emotional release, playing for the first time since losing Marshawn Nealon. Dak Prescott leading the way with 4 touchdown passes.
Whirlwind of a week, great one to cap off with a win right here, and but this doesn't put a cap on it. We're going to continue to move forward, shining light on Marshawn and carrying his legacy.
The Cowboy defense that he was a part of never let the Raiders get going. Last night, Geno Smith was picked off once, sacked 4 times. Vegas didn't even bother running the ball, just 12 carries, producing 27 yards. Some other news and notes from the NFL yesterday, as we've been discussing this morning. Jamar Chase suspended 1 game for spitting at Jalen Ramsey on Sunday. He is appealing. Otherwise, he doesn't play this weekend against New England. Aaron Rodgers apparently wants to play Sunday against the Bears despite that crack in his left wrist. And Michael Penix may be done for the season with a knee injury for Sunday. For now, he is on IR in Atlanta.
Man, that trade, you mentioned it yesterday, Pearl. I'm just reiterating what you said. But that Falcons trade to the Rams, speaking of the Rams, is 8th now. I mean, they traded away a top 10 pick thinking that they were, winning this year?
Yeah. I mean, I think there have been games where James Pierce Jr., the defensive end who they got, has played well. But, man, their timeline was even worse than the Raiders.
Yeah. Oh, wow. They've won 3 games this year, Atlanta.
Imagine having to sit through this last night.
Here comes McBride flying the other way. Scoops it up high. Misses off back iron. Cat has it. It's swatted by Ware. Back to Cat. Jumper up. It's out. And this game is now over.
That's Jason Jackson on Heat Radio. By my math, the Knicks missed 5 times in the closing seconds in South Beach, including a goaltending call that went in their favor, but that was overturned, keeping them from tying the game. The Heat holding on for a 115-113 win after leading by 10 with 3 minutes left.
Wait, is that the same Jax that went?
I hope so.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah, he's the
He's
no,
the
actually, no, I don't think it is.
guy? No, that's someone else.
Well, this says Heat announcer, and Jax is the Heat
Well,
announcer.
that could be TV.
But that's the
good
TV
point.
guy.
It's the TV guy.
Damn.
What's his last name? Oh, God, he's
I
been
don't
doing
know.
it forever.
He's been their guy for a long time.
Yes, I know his name. He was doing it when I was a production assistant for the NBA. Go ahead, I'll find it.
The Piston win streak is 10 after
They're
a
hot.
127-112 home win over the Pacers. Another team maybe we could beat. Detroit is 2.5 games clear. The Cavs atop the Eastern Conference. Cleveland beat Milwaukee last night, 118-106. Giannis left that one in the second quarter with a left groin strain, further testing today. Cavs Bucks also gave us our second reading comprehension test of the day following Kevin Harlan on Westwood One.
Kick out. Harris can't hit. Mobley the board, pushing the tempo. And you had time. Mobley. Up ahead. Giannis. Can the Bucks make him pay? Portis off the heel. No good. And Mobley will check the context.
Oh, sweet Evan Mobley, who grabbed a rebound with 10 seconds left in the first quarter. He must have thought he had just 1 second because he unleashed an 85-foot running heave that hit the other backboard with still 7 seconds to spare, allowing the Bucks to get that last shot that they didn't hit.
It's so funny because guys now won't take that shot even when there is 1 second left because they don't want it to count against their field goal.
They do
I know
now.
because it won't count against their field goal percentage, which think of...
Mike Breen was advocating for that every single night on MSG.
I know, but think how lame your sport is. And I love
Agreed.
the NBA.
Yes.
Where guys are so worried about their individual stats. And I get it because there's a lot of money at stake.
You ever seen Russell Wilson throw the ball out of bounds? It's not just the NBA.
Great point.
Yeah, like avoiding interceptions is a cottage industry in the NFL. Shedeur didn't learn that lesson. Like if you watch Aaron Rodgers or watch Russell Wilson, there's no interceptions.
If ShedeurSanders had only been throwing the ball out of bounds, he would have never even had a completion.
I can't believe the interception, by the way, that should have gone. I think he was trying to throw it out of bounds. I don't know what happened. He's got to go deep out of bounds.
By the way, watching a quarterback who is terrible but doesn't throw picks, not just a New York Giant thing. Justin Fields is the same. Guy will not throw interceptions, but he's the worst. Absolute worst.
But he doesn't really. He likes to throw the ball into the ground. Isn't that his jam?
Yeah. It's not even,
Those are the accidental ones.
Or he just takes off. I saw an Eagles fan on social media that was doing a drinking game, seeing how many times Justin Fields just looks off his first read and runs. She must have been 15 drinks.
She's in a coma.
It was crazy. I was like, please stop doing this. She's like, I can't believe he's doing it again. They're saying this guy's like Jalen Hurts. He's nothing like him.
I wanted to do a drinking game here yesterday. Every time Maggie brings up the New York Times playoff projector, take a shot. And you only brought it up once
You'd be
today.
dead.
You only brought it up once today.
Oh, yeah.
25% at best at beating me.
You love having an actual percentage to play off
I
of.
get
so-
obsessed with it.
Yeah. Anyway.
And by the way, the Cowboys, less than 1%.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
Is that Maggie?
Yes, that is Maggie.
That's my finest work.
The third quarter of a tense Bills game.
Also, it's Tony Fiorentino who gave us Anatokumbu.
Oh, okay.
Long-time Heat announcer. Very fun.
That's a
fun
new
announcer.
name to me.
Really? He was there forever.
I don't know that name.
Anatokumbu.
I know the drop. I didn't know where it was from either.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Last one from me, some wacky hockey last night in Florida. The Panthers spotted the Canucks 2 goals.
Yes,
then took
wacky
a
hockey. There's hockey in
5-2
Florida.
lead, gave it away, and then...
Up top, Nico Mikkola. A drive, tipped, they score! That was redirected. Sam Bennett got a stick on it, and the Panthers have the lead once again at 6-5.
Sam Bennett, tie-breaking goal, early third period. Florida beat Vancouver 8-5.
They playing baseball?
Hope you had the over on Prize Picks.
8-5 is outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
We did. You're saying it's wacky. They're playing hockey in Florida. They're playing the best hockey in
Well,
Florida.
I
That's
mean,
where you have to go.
But still, regardless,
Canada's not going to give it to you, unfortunately.
The concept of an idea of people paying for a hockey rink in Sunrise, Florida is just whatever, bro.
Did 1991 call with your take? They've been playing hockey there forever.
1991, good Lord. Who was around during those ages?
I was born then,
Abe
sir.
Lincoln.
I know. We had landlines.
4 years ago. It was brand spanking new in 1991.
A lot of Stanley Cups in California, too, now come to think about it.
The
Warm
LA
weather
Kings
hockey is
beat the
amazing.
New York Rangers in 2014.
Don't remind me of
thanks.
that, dude.
God.
Come on, man.
Paying for ice in Southern California. Go ahead, Maggie. Throw us a break.
I've got a bad idea that's happening.
Hockey in Florida.
No.
Damn it, we got that covered.
Hockey in Arizona.
Well, that didn't work out.
Oh, okay.
No, not that. This one's even worse. There's good hockey in warm places.
Hockey in Atlanta.
This is just a terrible idea no matter how you slice it. But are we going to do it? And by we, I mean sports. Yes, we are. And are we going to watch it? You betcha. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
We were singing bye bye Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Them good old boys were drinking whiskey and rye and singing, "This'll be the day that I."
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. Okay, this is objectively a bad idea, but it's happening, Pearl, and it's going to be happening pretty soon. And that is the heavyweight fight between Anthony Joshua, who's a two-time heavyweight champion who fights out of the UK.
Oh, bloody hell.
Who's also a Olympic gold medalist, okay?
Yep.
Fighting Jake Paul. Now, if you're wondering about the tail of the tape here, Anthony Joshua is about 50 pounds heavier than Jake Paul right now. He fights at 250, whereas Paul fights at about 200. Now, Paul will probably gain some, he's already gained some weight, but it's an official fight, which means it's sanctioned. It's going to happen in Miami at the Kaseya Center where the Heat play. It is 10-ounce gloves. It's the whole deal. This is an objectively terrible idea from Jake Paul. Now, this guy clearly has no regard for his health or, his head because Anthony Joshua got into the ring with Francis Ngannou, who was a, mixed martial art champion and was trying his hand at boxing, and Joshua kicked his butt in 2 rounds.
You knocked him out cold.
Jake Paul, we're going to see, his soul leave his body. Maybe. I'm serious. This is not a smart idea.
Gonna knock the Disney out of
See,
him.
But you know how these celebrity, and I'll call it a celebrity fight, there always seems to be some reason that the non-boxer doesn't die. The boxer kind of holds them up. The boxer kind of holds them up and doesn't really hurt them.
Okay, but you don't understand. Anthony Joshua still wants to fight Tyson Fury again in 2026. So how does he use this fight to help that is he has to destroy Jake Paul. This is not Mike Tyson, who's 60. This is not he's fighting, Nate Diaz, who's doing a different discipline, or Tyron Woodley, or something like that. He's fighting an active heavyweight who is still trying to get multiple paydays down the road, who could benefit from beating the brains in of Jake Paul.
It's like Alabama playing the Citadel in like week 13 of the season.
Like style points is what you're getting at.
Okay, I'm not a boxing expert, but Anthony Joshua, kind of soft.
Let's hear Dana White.
Kind of soft. Like I'm telling you, wait till this fight. I'm so confident that this is with the
soft
slaughter
until he punches you in the jaw.
I don't know. That guy should have been. He should have been a 10-year champion, and with that body and like when he was coming up, I'm like, he is the future of the heavyweight division, and then he wasn't. I don't know. I think that I honestly consider his career a slight disappointment. Maybe it's because he looked the part.
Here's what Dana White had to say when he was informed that this fight is going down.
Oh, Jesus. That's a bad idea.
Oh.
That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Was he eating like an Uncrustable in the middle of that?
I don't know.
Yeah, eating some candy. You know the middle-aged men. Always got some
Take
candy.
some medication, makes your mouth dry.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm no fan of Dana, but that's a very funny response, and I'm kind of with him. I mean, so Jake Paul was supposed to fight Tank Davis.
Yes.
Right? And it fell through because Davis is now being accused of and maybe charged with some very serious things, assaulting an ex-girlfriend. So now he had to pivot, and for some reason he decided to go with maybe the toughest opponent possible, Pearl. Are you watching or no? It's going to be on Netflix.
No, definitely not because it's too late.
That's why you're not watching.
You
It's
can
too
watch
late.
it the next day.
It's Saturday.
Oh, I'll watch it the next day for sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I mean, what time? When did the last one end?
Oh, that was terrible. It started so late.
Yeah.
Because this was my theory. The last Netflix boxing match started so late because they were trying to wait until it was 8 a.m. in Saudi Arabia.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Canelo and Terrence Crawford.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy late.
Because the Saudis were the ones who were like the title sponsor.
Yep.
And I think that they wanted it to be at least like a palatable time in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
So, is there any chance they address that and say we could give you some kind of certainty about what time it's on? They'd never do that, right?
No.
This one's in Miami, but I don't know if His Excellency is behind this. I don't think he is.
I mean, I could do 11:30.
Start time? Touch gloves at 11:30. You're in?
I could do 11:30, but I don't think
walk 11:30. You can be there.
Miami. That's promising.
Yeah, I mean
East
it's East Coast, so
that's promising.
And the card starts at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, but if it's all about when this starts in Saudi Arabia, then it doesn't matter what the East Coast time is. It's about Middle East time.
EJ, could you do a Pablo Torre dive to see where the money's coming for this one? I
don't think this is the Saudis. I think MVP boxing, I believe, is Jake Paul's own thing. I think this is a him thing. So I don't think there's any allegiances to having it at a later time than normal.
Well,
I can't do one.
Saudis own everything in sports, or they will soon.
But if it's before midnight, you'll watch, Pearl.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, I would watch, but I don't want to get in that game where it's like, okay, they're 15 minutes away. Should I stay up? And then it turns out to be 45 minutes.
I'm just worried.
Then I'll watch in the morning.
I'm just worried it's going to be what Perloff says. Is like,
if
Jake Paul was fighting real boxers who actually wanted to destroy him, I think he would have been destroyed already. That is still my take. I think that a lot of these fights are something's fishy about them.
Yeah.
Right? Like he fought like Tyson Fury's brother.
Yeah.
And it seemed like Tyson Fury's brother could have destroyed him at any moment, and he just kind of kept like taking punches
You
randomly.
want to know why?
Why is that?
Because this is my theory, is because all of these guys see this is obviously a massive payday.
Yeah.
And they think that if they make the fight close, they'll get a rematch. And you get to dip again.
Yeah.
And you get the double dip. Like Tyron Woodley got two fights.
Yeah, he got a rematch.
He got the rematch. And I think everyone else is like, well, I don't want to kick his butt too much because then if it's a little close, maybe the fans will call for a rematch and Jake Paul will give you a rematch.
I mean, the ultimate was Floyd Mayweather making Conor McGregor look like a boxer. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather's so brilliant he can make both guys look good. That was ridiculous.
He made Logan Paul look good.
Yeah, he held him up.
He fought Logan Paul too.
Who's now doing the WWE.
Right, exactly. Who's doing actual scripted.
I still don't know.
He's doing backflips into the ring.
Still don't know which one's Logan, which one's Jake.
That doesn't matter. This is also on a Friday night. not Saturday night.
Oh, my bad.
So, no, I had to double check. So just Pearl, just for your own purposes.
Well, that's
Plan accordingly. Fridays
that's
are
a bummer
tough for us.
because Saturday night at least you have college football to entertain you and keep you up. I mean, if I had a social life, actually, it's Christmas party season too. I might have something on the agenda.
Ooh.
Can I come?
Perloff just informed me that Black Friday now is all week long. Did
Yeah,
anyone
there are already
notice?
sales.
Yeah, I saw
What?
Amazon has like a ad that's like Black Friday week. I'm like,
We need
excuse
to
me?
go
What?
back to the days where people were fighting each other at Walmarts for
Maggie just asked if
cereal.
she has to stand in line for Black Friday. I'm
I
like,
did. Oh my
stand
gosh,
in line.
Maggie.
Is
Really?
the internet down?
Yes, actually.
I need a
Yes.
new laptop, and I'm like, but I don't want to have to get there at midnight. And Perloff looked at me
What
like
year
I
is
had
it?
4 heads.
Wow, that was some real 2009 stuff right there.
That's crazy.
I don't want to
have
have to fight
get
some
there
woman
at
from
mid-
Long Island to get a laptop.
Is there a new kind of laptop out? First of all, people wait in line for phones now, not laptops.
Yeah, no. Now you're fighting, Russian bots online. That's who you're fighting.
Oh, yippee. Thank you, EJ Stewart. Thank you, Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogish, Andrew Kaplan, Weedos Coffee Drinkers. Catch you tomorrow.
You're in a 5-minute break.